of these black businesses don't get the support from the local black people in their community.
All right. Um, one second. Can you hear me? One.
Yeah, you good.
Oh, okay. Sorry, man. I didn't catch that hype. I only caught the last bit of what you said.
Okay,
Unless
I'll repeat it.
unless anyone wanted to just go in on what hyphy was saying.
He was
Yeah, so do
saying
you
that
guys
what
think that I'll repeat it for Kane also. So do you think that because the way that black businesses, they, some of them, not all of them, but sometimes these black businesses, they treat people that are not black with much more respect than their own black people in their community? You think that's why some black people don't support black businesses?
absolutely that's absolutely the reason why. Because why would I be one you and you're not treat you understand and you don't appreciate like you don't treat me right, and why do you even think that's something that's you understand what I'm saying to you? Like we and there's this whole complex of wrong and strong. Like I'm a you black. If you're not treating people properly, why the hell should I support you? I'm not supporting you just because you're black and then you're gonna treat me like shit and then you're gonna be inclusive to other people and outsiders. You understand what I'm saying? Why should I?
Mm-hmm.
Why should I take trying to build something? That's not building. Because if you're not gonna treat your 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 people properly, guess what happens? Your business starts to come whitewashed. This is why you have these areas like where I am and in Hertfordshire where you have West Indian food and it don't even taste the same because they're accommodating people to their taste and their liking, you understand? And they're no now pandering and catering for them than their own people. You understand? Because they're just thinking about themselves and thinking about these people. These people are like and like you said, it's like a big thing for them to accept their food and love their food. So we're gonna take out this and thing, and it starts getting watered down. What happens? You start having black businesses that are just like any other businesses where it caters. It's all inclusive. It caters. It doesn't even cater for its own. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. When people say there's black businesses, okay, but we have black businesses that is now catering for everyone. Like we had this conversation thing, and you were talking about how yeah we have to work with other people. Yeah, that's fine, but we don't know where to draw the line because it will come to a point where we really whitewash our own thing, and then it becomes just like everything else. You understand? Because we don't uphold the balance, we don't have respect for people, and that goes both ways. And the fact that you have black people wanting freebies or complaining about prices being too high, but yet still you don't just sit down and want to be buying designers and built stuff for free. You understand? It's ridiculous. This is what happens. It works on both sides. So of course, if you're not gonna treat me, I don't give a fuck if you're black. I ain't going to your shit if you don't know how to treat me. You get me? If you're not for me, you're not gonna treat me properly. Why am I supporting you just for the sake of black? And you're gonna end up. I'm supporting you to help you support them. You understand what I'm saying? I'm helping support outsiders because you believe it's beneficial to you. You understand? Do you know that the most of the black music that is bought by what? Outside people, white people, and other people. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like we're supporting them for them to cater for someone else. You understand what I'm saying? Because like I said, we're the only ones that are really um doing this individualism to the point where it actually has nothing to do. So I don't want to hear people talk about black bits and this, that, the other. Because if this is the case, all these drug dealers and all these people that go with businesses, why are we like Kane said, why are we being gentrified? Why is or why are we still in the exact same way to the point that we're going through generations where things are the same and nothing changing? You understand what I'm saying to you? So this is the reality. So I'm not gonna be supporting no one just because they're black and you don't fit. Yeah, and if I find out you're a person where you don't care for your, I'm not supporting shit. Like you said, if you wanna dance with them, stay and hold your corner. Don't come back over here. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's not my fault.
Okay. What about this one then? So recently, there's been some people killed in London. due to knife crime, thing like that. And there's been a conversation pertaining to the knife crime epidemic, which is just the term of the choice of weaponry out here. The knife crime epidemic that's going on. It's been linked with this UK drill music, right? We all know what drill music is. Basically, there's a UK version, and it's kind of popular amongst with the youngsters, and they're linking it together. For those that haven't heard any of this UK drill music, to be honest with you, it's not my thing. I don't like it. I don't understand it. It sounds monotone to me. For some reason, they love using funeral bells. Um, and yeah, it's not my thing. I think it's just something for the youngsters. But a lot of the content of the drill music, you pick a song, is all about how bad they are and how they're gonna shank a man up, and you know what they're planning to do to the ops, and you tried to come for me but you didn't kill me, and all this. Do you think there is a direct link between the music and the messages that is in this music, this drill music, and what's happening on the streets, whether it's in London, Chicago, or wherever anyone is from on the panel? Do you think there
But
is a
listen,
link between the music?
but listen to me. This is
Hell
what I'm
yeah.
saying. Don, but listen to me. We do all these things. It's like we find these little crutches and make excuses. Why do you think these things are even being able to happen? It's because we've all this. You smoke weed, you're bad. You understand? You go to prison, you get stripes. You can't snitch. Da, 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 da. We have assimilated that to our culture, bruv. So that's where it comes from. You understand? Stop pussyfooting and using crutches to say yes things. Not taking away from the fact, yes it is. But this is where it starts from. It starts from us. We are allowing assimilate to our culture. This is a culture that we have. We have a whole culture where gang life, road life, being brought up a certain way, drinking, doing lean, twerking, and the whole night is our culture. You understand what I'm saying to you? So, if you really want to talk about shit, let's start there. Start with the crutches of, oh, do you think it linked? That's where it starts from, is the fact that we have assimilated this bullshit and attached it to black culture. Let's start there. How we going to break that down? Because all this does it it's just a crutch. You understand? Because that's where it comes from. You can't complain about the things that we have now assimilated to our culture, that we have allowed to be deemed as our culture. You hear what I'm saying to you? We've
Mm-hmm.
allowed that to be deemed as our culture as no. All these things are things that people, why people want to be comfortable and want to assimilate appropriate us. We have done that. No one else. We have done that. We and these people are just talking that and obviously put on a wider scale to glamorize it. You understand? And at the same time demonize it. You understand? But we started that bullshit. So what are we gonna do about that? Fuck all this. Does real? Yes, it does. But you need to know in America and over here we have a culture of nonsense that we've allowed to be go thus far. You understand what I'm saying to you? We need to start there. I don't want to hear about drill music because drill music is least of our problem because it's a whole culture, a whole way of life that we have now made our way. You understand what I'm saying? What the fuck are we doing about that? You understand? You don't
Right.
want to be complaining about the leaves, but you don't want to be complaining about the fucking root. You understand? Fuck all that bullshit. Well, let's start there because that's where we need to start because that's the only way it's gonna be dispelled. You understand what I'm saying? That's the only way. You understand? If we stop attaching all this stuff and all this stupidness and deeming it our culture, that's how. If we don't do that, there's no way because this is people's real life reality. You understand? And this is what we have made. Like you on the road, you're bad. You kill someone, you get stripes, you get points. You understand? You're a bad man if you do this. You're a bad man if you're from here. If you're from this pole code and this that other, you're like so. You understand what I'm saying? That's the reality. What are we doing to eradicate that at the root? because all this picking the leads and doing all this stuff is like we're just helping them to, we're helping them both ways to appropriate and assimilate, and then also to demonize it at the same damn time. What we doing about that? Let's start there. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Because you can't do away with something when it's something that is part of a culture. You understand? Why do we have that as a culture? Why are we actually making that something that we want to be deemed as black culture, urban culture, something called minorities? Why are we doing all this? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Why?
for real. Yeah, because
You
that
can't
leads
do
back to what I was
yeah,
saying
because
earlier.
go on.
Yeah, that leads back to what I was saying earlier about this, some of these negative aspects that is a cancer in our community in terms of culture and thing like that. So yeah, I hear you. I hear you. So from a US perspective, let me hear what you lot are saying now. Hi for your fuller.
Um,
What's your take?
um,
Yeah, Fuller could go.
the thing is about it is that we have to just look at the history altogether, like what kind of society we kind of have been put have been put in, because you know in Europe, I can speak for Europe and I can speak for here too, because in Europe, you know, there's a place that I have like still family to this day in Portugal called Cabo de Moro. And Cabo de Moro is just basically a place where you have, um, it's just basically a ghetto. And the majority population of that ghetto is like Africans, basically. So when you're
Congolese, Angolan, like.
not like Angolan, Guineans, Cape Verdeans, Mozambicans, like just different Lusophone Africans, you know. And like part of my time was spent there, and certain things you see that you're not supposed to see as a kid. That kind of fuels your that kind of fuels the music and the things that are done. That kind of channels the music into these kind of things, because if you don't have music as an outlet, then you may have something else as an outlet, because in Europe, especially like in like French and Portuguese colonies, casual racism is just a thing of the norm. Like they'll call you preta, which means nigga basically, and they'll say things like, "Oh, pretas read," like, "Oh, niggas read," or "Oh, pretas study," and that's furthermore compounded in the curriculum in school that tells you, "Oh, if it wasn't for colonialism, you guys wouldn't be who you are today," stuff like that. So outside forces contribute to that, but there's definitely an element of inside forces that contribute to the music too. Because at the end of the day, that's what's hot. Unfortunately, that kind of music is what's hot. That kind of music which talks about all these things, this is what's hot today. Music talking about like certain things, like let's just say music maybe talking about, trying to think of a topic, music that may be talking about economics or talking about building one up or building up your people, that's not going to be that's not going to be the hot thing to sell. Nobody's going to really go for that.
That
The one
conscious,
of the
all that
problem
conscious music.
one one of the things is, this is one of the big factors in this type of music that gets put out. It's not only the blacks that like it, it's other people who like it too, because they figure like, oh, this is our entertainment. I mean, we get this entertainment without actually us having to live in that kind of thing. Not having to live in like like being in shootouts, like seeing people sell like bricks of drugs, seeing like family members washed up, getting football numbers, going to jail, going back and forth to jail, seeing people like fall by the wayside, not like just being school dropouts and all kinds of things. So they embrace it because it's not their, they don't have to deal with it. They get to experience it from the outside in. But certain people have to deal, we for the most part have to deal with it. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, because it is like the way it is, this is how this is how we deal with it. We deal with it through the music, and as they say, art imitates life. Um, but that's the thing. That's part of life. For a lot of people, that's life. You know what I mean? Like shootouts, like drug deals, like seeing relatives go to jail and stuff like that. That's life. That's part of, that's just the life that you're put in. You know what I mean? Now I get if music, like I get if if the music told you the consequences of what these actions entail, then I can understand. If you're telling your story and you're artistically telling it and telling people the ins and outs, and that ultimately, there's a sense of danger in it, I understand. I get that. But if you're glorifying it, then you're basically, in my word, you're kind of like a lackey too. You're kind of like, you're doing the work that, you're basically doing the work that the colonizer wants you to do, and so they don't have to do themselves. You're basically projecting the image that they want you to project, you know, in order for them not to have to do it. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion on it, basically.
All right. So Harris, tell me something from your experience as well, like growing up with all this. Because I know you obviously you come from the thing. What do you call it? West Coast and that. So I know you know you've got some experience in terms of that whole West Coast G hop era and all of that. So yeah, what's your kind of take on it?
All right, yeah. So basically, people that are
Oh wait,
into like
sorry, Hive.
especially
One second,
oh,
Hive.
my bad.
Sorry to
My
cut
bad.
you. What? She just gone. I just wanted to see if she could hear us, but Nyanifa was is trying to get in, but my bad. Go ahead, Hive.
Okay, yeah. So coming from the West Coast, especially if you're into hip hop, it's always been basically labeled as the West Coast is what brought the like the violence and all the negativity to the hip hop, and I would definitely say it had like a huge influence on it. Everybody's heard of that group called NWA, which
Mhm.
basically was like the outbreak for it. And ever since then, it's definitely been like a just a negative. It's just like create like a lot of negativity. Yeah, we've had some of the, like the Public Enemy type of guys, Brand Nubian, who were kicking out the good stuff, KRS and people like that. But it's always been more of the negative stuff. And as we see in today, it's the the negative stuff that's the only stuff you're going to get today because that's the only stuff that actually sells. And it is definitely a huge problem, and it kind of makes me mad when I see all these guys today. Like they'll come out and they'll promote all of this violence, and then when it's time for them to go to court, they'll be on court saying, oh, it's just for entertainment purposes. And then these are the same dudes who are talking about how they used to do stuff as kids and how they got kids on the block doing stuff. But yet their kids, they moving their kids to the suburbs and stuff. So it's like you basically you're a fraud. And these dudes, they like to say, oh well, don't take me as a role model, but you influencing kids that are like half your age, and you tell them this is what it means to be cool, and then you want to say oh well, don't use me as a role model. Like, dude, it's a huge contradiction. I'm just tired of all of these rappers like that. So I don't listen to none of these current rappers out.
Mm. So there's a duo over here called Krypton Conan, and they recently did a song. Um, to cut a long story short, that depicted a young black boy from the hood, from the council estates or whatever, and he was using music as a conduit to elevate himself and his personal circumstances and his finances, and look after his girlfriend and his kids, right? But the music that he was making was drill, and he was, semi living that lifestyle. And drill music is all about, yeah, man, I'll shank a man, and this is what I'm gonna do to my ups and all of that, right? And then the music video was depicted. Basically, the message behind the video was that you shouldn't ban the music because, um, you know, black boys in the hood use this as a means to elevate themselves out of out of poverty, and this is a realistic opportunity to get themselves out of poverty. I posted this in a group a couple of weeks ago. Didn't get much commentary on it, but my take is this: like, in terms of this idea that, you know, in defense of the gangster rap, or in this era we call it drill music, in defense of that, people are using that to get out of poverty and all of that, right? Well, here's my take. The thing is, right, there's a mathematical kind of way that we can look at this. What's more important, one person elevating himself out of the hood, right, and doing very well and nicely for himself and his family? That's all good, right? And if he can get some generational wealth out of that, then yeah, that's kind of cool for him. And hopefully, if he makes enough money, maybe he can put back into the community, right? You've got one person that can do that, but then when you look at the product that that person's putting out, how much people does that affect? Because when you make this music talking about all this um, negativity and all this stuff, when you put that music out there, that's having an effect and influencing other people that feel like they're in the same sort of situation, and you're selling this delusional dream that everybody can make it if you rap or you become a rapper. Trust me, I know some real decent rappers, in the ends. I grew up with people that could spit bars upon bars upon bars. But that whole game has been oversaturated, and very few people actually make it as a rapper. In fact, I guarantee you, if I get a panel of 10 brothers from the United States and the UK, I guarantee you 8 out of 10 of them can spit some bars, one way or another. Do you know what I mean? So the idea that you're going to perpetuate this music, sell this negativity, and sell this delusional content that, yeah, indirectly glorifying the hood, indirectly glorifying that, yeah, it's cool to be in the ghetto, it's cool to be in the council estates, it's cool to do this, it's cool to do all these kind of fuckeries and stuff, right? Hold on 1 second. Let me just see if Nine, you there? Aoife. Nine. Hold on. Nine. Can you hear us? Nine. Oh, yo, can you hear us? Because we can't hear you. If you're talking, we can't hear you. Check. All right, give me 1 second, family. Let me just jump in this. Give me 2 seconds. Nine, can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, I got you. Stay there. Don't do anything. Just stay there 1 second.
I'll let
All
him
right.
do his thing because he was able to make it.
Okay,
Go ahead.
1 second. I'm just gonna sort out 9 or so. If you guys just hold it down for me, I'm just gonna sort out 9 and try to get her in on this thing.
Yeah, so what King was saying, I agree because
Okay, 9. Right. You there?
I am.
Okay, right. You see this thing here? Let me. Okay, I'm gonna get you in on the call. I think the reason why you can't come in is because you're not part of the group. That's what I think it is. So Let me give me a
Yeah,
second.
that I'm blocked.
It says you're blocked.
Yeah, or you haven't got something like I haven't got an act
Oh yeah,
something
yeah, yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. I'm gonna sort that out. I'm gonna sort that out because I figured this thing out. Um. Okay, I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you a link, and then if you click that link, it will make you join the group, and then I can get you. I can get you in. Hold on. Where's the thing? Because this voice chat that you're in now, it's not online, and I'll finish this.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
figured. Yeah.
All right. I just sent
So
you
this
the
is like
link.
a whole.
Yeah, it's like a holding kind of thing.
Where have you sent it to, Bab?
Okay, I've just sent it on to your direct message on this thing. Or I can send it to you on the Hangouts if you want.
Well, let me see if I can
Hold on,
find the
hold on,
direct
hold on,
message
hold
one.
on. All right.
Everything, everything is. You understand? So what if it's not see it as if it's actually what are we actually complaining about? Why are we complaining about the parents that are capitalizing off their sons going out and shotting drugs and benefit? You get me? Why are we you understand what I'm saying? Really deal with the problem. Don't do it that way. It's not going to stop. Because at the end of the day, people think it's their way of life, and it's this way because they attach all these things to culture and deemed it as you understand what I'm saying to you. You need to come away from the
Yeah.
I don't like the branch, I don't like the and really get me. If we really want to feel we really like and come away from the ideal culture and really build our culture on something that is get me worth like you understand like stop with this or your daughter has to be in football, basketball, get me a stripper, a car, a YouTuber for you to be deemed as success. Like why are we not making glorifying being a doctor, being a mechanic, being an architect. You understand? Real business
Hmm.
owners. You understand? Loving each other. Why are we not glorifying in them things? You understand? Why are we not glorifying them things? We need to strip away of this so nasty um prediction of what it means to black culture. That's the only way it's gonna work. This knife crime and it's dumb. Right now we have a culture.
Okay. Um. You there, Nine? Okay. You there, Nine? You there? All right. Um. Check your Hangout. I think it'll be easier. Check your Hangout, Nine.
You understand? The way I
I
Okay.
definitely understand and agree. Oh yeah, go ahead, King.
No, no, my bad. I just want to apologize. To big up melanated goddess, bless up Queen, bless up. I just want to apologize to those that are listening on the rebroadcast and are listening live. I had a few technical audios. I'm trying to get 9 Ether on, and it cut the audio out, so it might have screwed up the audio for about 2 or 3 minutes. But it's all good. We're right back on track. You know what I mean? Sorry about that, Hive man. Go true, my brother.
Oh yeah, no, it was well, Spice was cooking, and I was definitely agreeing with everything she was saying. Like what, even if someone can get become like wealthy off of the rap music or whatever. Why does it have to be about the negative stuff? And see, that's the thing. If we, if we force all of these rappers, stop rapping about the negative stuff, bro, they would have no choice but to. So yeah, it's the people that consume it. It's our responsibility. And even if the rappers, if they all agree, hey, we're not going to rap about the negative stuff anymore, because it's kind of messed up. I see all these dudes, R.I.P. Nipsey, and blah 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 blah. But then you go right back to rapping to the same stuff. You know what I mean? More and more violent. So it's just a huge contradiction. I just hate it.
Yeah. Okay. Nanifa, are you there? Hold on, let me see if I've got her on mute. Um, that should be good now. Okay, what I'm gonna do? Let me kick her out, and then she'll have to come back in.
She's in now. Yeah, she just
Yeah,
like came in.
yeah, but I think I know what's happening.
All right.
I hope it doesn't. Okay. Nah, let me. Okay. Alright, who was that? Just happened there. Okay, that was Hyphy. Okay, cool. Alright, 9. See if you can because you're actually on the thing now, 9. Alright. Alright, cut. Alright, let me see if I can drag her across. Alright, 9, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
That's it. Yeah, there you go. There you
I
go.
haven't even done anything different to George.
No. I know what it is. It's what it is you have to join the reason why I weren't letting you in is you have to join the server, and then even if you go into the other one, I can drag you onto this one. So you're good now. You're good. Anytime you want to come in, you can just jump in now. You ain't gonna have no complications anymore.
Right, so let me just check something because on my screen it says connect to voice. So I don't know whether I should go back because I need to. What? Hold on. All right, voice connect. Is that where I need to be? All right. Okay. Oh, bless up, Spice. Full of thoughts. Hi, Fee came. Bless up yourselves.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Bloody
What's
hell.
up?
Alright, cool. No, I've never been on the live on the Discord. I've been on it just, but it looks like it's changed a bit still. But alright. Alright, well, my day.
So did you
So,
hear? Did you hear any of the build that we was talking on? The last thing that I didn't catch much of what Spice was saying, but the last thing that I was touching on was just about some of this negative, what I call cancer in the community with all this kind of ratchetness and indirectly glorifying uh, the hood culture, in this drill music and thing like that. And it's not just one thing, as Spice was saying. You can pick the leaves off the tree, but really there's a root to this problem. You know what I mean? And everything is kind of
I
linked.
just call it the sickness. You get
Go ahead.
me? I just call it the sickness box. That's all. I've been calling it the sickness for many a year to be, because I think it is an actual sickness. Don't ask me to describe it, or I'm not saying it's in a book or anything, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's the devil or what, but yeah, man, some of the youth, they're in trouble. And cause I've got some young girls around me. Well, when I say young, I'm like early 20s and that. And oh, mate, when I talk to them, I wanna cry, man. I want to cry, and imagine they're looking at me like I'm a prude, and trust me, I ain't a prude, But Lord of God, when it comes to them galia, I'm a prude. Remember, me tell you, yeah, they want some. It's very. It's. 'Cause what I'm trying to show them is that it's like the way in which the young women are behaving today, or some, yeah, obviously we're generalizing on some. It's like you're taking the female movement back all of 50 years.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the crazy thing. Like I got to remind them that women got run over by horses, so you could be running around taking hood from every Tom, Dick, and Harry,
Hmm.
and filming it and putting it on Twitter. Yo, the type of things that are out there, baby, I'm telling you, you know, so I don't want my son growing in this nonsense. This is a nonsense.
Hey
Yeah, I'm
man.
gonna talk one thing, yeah, and then I'm gonna shut my mouth, yeah. But I'm only talking it just to show you how far down the totem pole we've gone, yeah. And that's it. There's and like I said, it's true these little get okay. So there's one you, yeah. I don't even wanna talk it too loud because it's that embarrassing, yeah. But on Twitter, yeah, there's one youth boxer, yeah, and he goes by the name of El Badders, yeah,
Okay.
El Badders, yeah. And you know what his job is, Virginia?
What was that?
Yeah, his job is sucking dick.
Oh my
Yeah,
days. Someone told me
yeah.
about this madness. I didn't believe, I've not seen it, but someone told me about this madness. Yeah, that's
You
crazy.
don't.
That's crazy.
And I'm telling you, in the future, if certain communities try and talk to me, you know, I'm gonna direct them to El Badders, you know. Because he gives the description of who. You get me? Or what type of yacht? Oh, it's disgusting, man. Like it's just oh, it's
Yeah,
just it's a lot, man.
I hear you.
It's a and that's on Twitter. Yeah, so Twitter has no age restriction or anything. That means anyone can access it. So when I'm looking at Twitter for the little news and my little Liverpool updates, only if you know that on the other side there's people like El Badders. Shit. It's very
Yeah.
bad, man. It's very bad. And obviously there's a female you know, equivalent to that. And it just seems that sex is like I'm saying it, this is Sodom and Gomorrah in it. There's no two ways about it, man. You understand? And my thing is now, you might as well, if there is, you know, make him come now, man, because I'll take my chances if it means cleaning up this shit right now. Because we can't continue like this, man. Yeah. And I'm just going to end it on that. So that's that bit. So now, last Saturday, my virgin showed me something, yeah. All now it disturbs me, yeah. So I don't know if you know, like last week, yeah, one young guy got
Uh, hi. We're getting some background noise from you. Hi.
All right, my bad. Let me go on mute.
Yeah, no worries. Go on, sure. Go
I'm
on,
just
sure.
gonna end with this, yeah, when I'm talking about the sickness here, boxer. Yeah. So now I'm saying that last week my brother showed me something on his phone. Yeah. So the first picture now was like a long sword, long like my leg. Yeah. And the police is obviously holding it. Yeah. And I'm not tall, to be fair, but they're sitting long like my leg and could have come up a little more. All right then, boom. So then the next thing now was a video. Yeah. And this video showed this little boy, yeah, on the stretcher thing. You understand what I'm saying? She boxer. And his chop boxer went from one side of him chest to the other side boxer. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So it didn't go up and down, you know. It didn't go north to south, you know. Yeah? It went from east to west or whatever you want to call it. You understand what I'm saying to you? Mr. Mawan bars to till. Because the youths on the stretcher, they you him not at no waist, yeah. Him still a busting in pants, and he's gone. He's gone. So what I'm talking about now, my thing is now, the person that put that chop on that you, what are you thinking? Like, what is in your head? Yo, Virgin, they're sick, man, because they're doing more than what people that have gone to Iraq and flipping Ireland have done. Do you know what I'm saying to you, Boxer?
Yeah. It's like every generation is trying to outdo the next.
No, but I'm saying that the way these youths are profiling, like they're in a war, like actually a real war, like some close contact combat war.
Yeah.
Like enough of our youths are running around with PTSD,
Yeah. It's
self-medication,
real.
and the whole nine.
I
Yo,
can I
Wait,
can
one sec, Fuller. One sec. Let me big up
okay.
Lady D because I can't ignore her. Bless up, Lady D. Bless up, Queen.
Alright.
Let me make sure her thing's all good as well. Can you hear us, Lady D, Divine, Divine? Can you hear us? Hold on, let me make sure I haven't got her on mute. Sometimes it does it. Oh, I've got her on mute. My bad, my bad. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. When you
Good
come
stuff.
in,
Let's up everybody.
yeah, bless up, bless up. Yeah, sorry about that. When you come in, by default, it puts people on mute, and I forgot it does that. But yeah, bless up, Lady D, man. You cool?
Yeah, man. Just I'm just trying to catch up with what's being spoken about because I've been out all day. So carry on, man. Carry on. Big up everybody
Okay.
on the panel.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead, Fuller. I'm just gonna go on mute myself, but go ahead, Fuller.
No,
Big
what
up,
were you
Chris.
saying about PTSD? Because I can attest to that because I know people who experienced it right from a urban point of view. From like a urban point of view, I know people who experienced that. Um, not even in an actual like war, but actually in an urban war, in an
But
urban setting.
that's exactly what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
yeah,
because they
yeah.
used to
It's
doing
it's
close
real.
combat fighting. So,
Yeah, it's
you know what I
real.
mean?
It's real.
They're doing more than soldiers are doing. That's the point I was trying to
Yeah,
make.
it's real. It's real because I while I'm not living in that area when I first got here to the States, I did live in the area in one of those marginalized areas, when I was first starting off. And it is kind of like a urban warfare, because you will find that a majority of people are dealing with either relatives getting washed up, either relatives getting shot before their very own eyes, either being in shootouts, either even sometimes being in shootouts with police, you know, and that does something to your psyche. It really does do something to your psyche. That's why even me myself, I can only speak for myself that every time I see a cop, in the back of my head, I'm like, shit, I could be next. You know what I mean? Like that shit really does happen. And I'm not the only guy who can attest to that. You know what I mean? Because this shit is like real. This shit is like real in the field. I mean, even the other day, this guy was riding an airplane. I don't know where he was going. He was still fighting his immigration case. But out of nowhere, he just got swooped up on the airline, basically, by two immigration dudes, out of nowhere. So this shit is kind of like on some urban warfare type setting, and it's not even an exaggeration, you know what I mean? Like a lot of us, and I'm just gonna be honest, a lot of us when we go outside, we look at ourselves as walking on a tightrope, no matter where you are, because there's definitely an agenda out, and unfortunately, we're on the bottom of that pecking order, you know. So that PTSD thing is definitely real. If you come from like a marginalized area, you definitely will see that, without a doubt. Because I can attest to that, I definitely can attest to that, you know. Seriously, I don't want to get into too much trouble, but it's to the point now where the government actually, and they've been caught doing it. Like if you go to Chicago, the government actually drops guns off in these marginalized areas so you can just have at it, you know? Because they figure, oh, we don't have to kill you. You guys kill each other, you know? So, yeah, you're right about that. People, I don't want to sound long winded, but I can honestly give more Purple Hearts to a dude who grew up. I can give more Purple Hearts to a guy from a marginalized area than I would a soldier who went to, like, let's say, Afghanistan. That's how crazy it gets. even myself, even myself, I've dodged a lot of close calls, where I've actually been shot at. You know what I mean? Sh- getting in the way. You know, cops actually saying things like, "Oh, we'll shoot." You know what I mean? So it is real like that. You know, most definitely.
So I mean, like when we're talking about these things, like the negative aspect of that happens to us, that some of it is perpetuated by us. In fact, all of it, most of it is perpetuated by us. As I was saying before, like, oh, hold on, Ross. Okay, my bad, my bad, my bad. Let me sort myself out. Ross Clark Kane, well done, well done. All right, we're good. So as I was saying before, you know, yeah, the system is to blame to one degree, but we've also got to look at ourselves and things like that. And you know, everything is connected when you're talking, even whether you're talking about gentrification or some of these negative aspects like trinkets. We're so easily led, we're so impressionable as a people. You know what I mean? We're so hypnotized by trinkets and things like that. But with all that being said, like, what kind of solutions do you think there are available to dealing with the symptoms that we're experiencing? You know, we know that the music is having a contributing factor in influencing some of these young people to have the mindset that they have, to feel like it's normal and they want to be better than the next man and better than the previous generation and things like that. And the same thing is happening in the Caribbean, in Jamaica specifically, in the UK, in America, and even Africa. Like, so, like, in terms of like dealing with this, do you think that part of the solution would be to change the music? Because the music is very influential, the music is very influential, and we all know that this conscious music, or any music with positivity in it, it just doesn't sell. The youngins, they're not really too interested in that. But is there any like solutions? Anyone got any sort of ideas as to like how we might be able to deal with some of these issues? Like, for example, I'll say this one last thing, then I'll let you guys cook. Like, how there's like a natural hair wave going on now. Natural is kind of a thing now. It's like a movement, if you like. Could something like a similar sort of thing happen with um, when you're talking about this madness that's going on in the community? Do you think anyone can ride on that? Oh, before you do, big up King Louis in the chat and big up Brenda Johnson. Bless up, Queen. You know what I mean? Big up Melanated Goddess as well. Thanks for coming through still. Yeah, whoever want to ride on that, let me know.
I just think education is important first. And what I mean by education, that people need to know that, you know, they need to know how to draw the line. They need to know how to and understand what this music is a result of. You know what I mean? They need to understand that they need to understand the also, I would say they need to understand business, because this music is a result of like inner workings and outside workings, because this music is very profitable and things like that, but it's profitable at the expense of our people. You know what I mean? People need to understand those kind of things, those little details, in order for them to realize that, you know, that the importance of like what you put out, and the importance of money. Because at the end of the day, people say money is the root of all evil. Money's not the root of all evil, because it serves as a good tool, a necessary tool. it's the acquisition of money that's the root of all evil, and how some people are willing to get it. And, some people are willing to get it through like putting out negativity. So I think that like education is very important. I think that's one of the things at least.
Yeah, but see the
And
thing
then
about
I don't even, and one more thing, I don't even mean it has to be like quote unquote at a university or anything. It just has to be about the current situation and the current reality of the situation.
yeah, you see the thing is though in the real world, right? I hear what you're saying with all of that, but a lot of these kids and that they're fascinated by the trinkets. Do you know what I mean? So if you even try dare come with any type of consciousness or positivity or anything like that, they're just gonna the box is already there. Do you know what I mean? They can identify that. So, oh, okay, you're trying to talk all that black stuff, yeah. All right, cool. You know what? Man ain't trying to hear all that, Car, I'm living in a certain environment and rah rah rah. It's. I think to me, it seems like there needs to be a radical cultural change, and then the education part will be more effective, because we've all grown up, with a parent.
Culture, cul.
Say, what's that, name? Go again.
Nah, sorry. You say a cultural change. I say a cultural cull. You get me?
Yeah. Yeah, because like most of us, and most of these boys that are committing that are subscribing to this culture. Because listen, it doesn't matter what you do as a parent. You can be the best parent in the world in the house, but boy, better know when that child leaves your house, the environment is going to be raising the rest of that child, and there's nothing you can do about that. Do you know what I mean? And unless you put your child in another environment which opens up another dialogue. But you can do the best that you can. I don't care whether there's two parents in the house or whether there's one. Like you can't do everything. When that child goes out there, the fact that that child's going to school and he's got friends, that's part of that child's growing up. Do you know what I
Okay,
mean? So
boxer. Okay then.
go ahead.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
this
Go
is
ahead.
so. All right then. So if that's the case, then let me ask you something. Yeah, and
Hmm.
okay. So even following what you're saying there, yeah. Why is it then, or it just may seem that it's a this, you know what I mean, this is apparent, but why is it that we seem to be more susceptible then? Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah. I got you. Because we're so impressionable, and this is I made this point earlier, Nan. You weren't on the panel at the time. That this thing is deep. It hasn't happened overnight. This has been going on for generations in terms of, um, this culture that we have. It's been going on for generations, and I tell you what. I think to answer your question, I think it's a multi-pronged um, thing that's happening here. Part of it is to do with the system, the environment that we've been put in initially, and then part of
Mm,
it is to do with the fact that we as a people, uh, um, and this is part of the culture as well, don't have the imagination to do anything other than what we can see what's in front of us. So, for example, a lot of these boys, when they grow, if they're not kicking ball or being a rapper, then it's like, oh well, I've just got to go to the streets. I've just got to go to the streets. That's my only options. When you've got an iPhone in your hand and you've got the biggest resource center in human history available to you, you can do anything. Do you understand? A lot of the kids don't have the imagination to do anything other than, oh, if it's not a rapper, then I'm forced to have to, shut and be part of that
but is it
lifestyle.
the kids that don't have the imagination? Sorry to cut you in again,
No,
babe.
go ahead, go ahead.
Is it kids that don't have the imagination, or is it the, I
The
don't know,
parents
echo
not
chamber?
instilling it, or
Well,
the old,
parents,
or the elders not
yeah,
instilling it.
because the thing is, yeah, like you said in it, this thing is so multi-dimensional, so multi-layered. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So because okay, in terms of because you were just saying, obviously, when a child leaves the home, then that's where it becomes more peak in it. And I can understand that because even I can just about remember being a youth, and obviously the way in which you are in your house and the way in which you're involved are two different things. Because you know what I mean, it's normal thing. But I just lost my train of thought there. Sorry, babe.
No, you was saying that. Oh shit, I forgot what you was gonna say as well. I knew where you was going, but I just lost my. What was she saying, man?
Oh yeah, okay. One of the things that I wanna put forward in terms of one of our problems, and you can shout me down if you want. But one of the ones that I'm going to put forward is children having had children. Do
Yep.
you understand? Yeah, because and that's what I'm saying. Where there's in some houses, obviously not all, but in some houses, there's obviously a lack of discipline. Yeah, there's a lack of someone to look up to. Because if you check it, yeah, you can have a 16, 17-year old out there now, where their parent is all 34.
Mm-hmm.
Or I mean, them ones are just
Yeah,
after
yeah,
30. Yeah. And one of the most important things about being a parent, yeah, is being able to pass on something to your child. Yeah. So obviously birthing the you and all the rest of it, that's one thing in it. But in terms of when the you is growing up, it's about what you can positively download into the child. And one of the things that I find is that you have a lot of parents and children that are basically on similar levels.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So then that respect isn't even there in the first place. Yeah, or you got some parents that know what their youth is doing and allowing it.
yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying
yeah,
to you? You've got parents or single, whatever. Your like your youth is wearing money. He's spending money. He ain't got no job. Yeah, this that. So as far as I'm concerned, you're complicit.
yeah.
And I'm saying, you know what I mean? But there's so many different layers to the thing, though. But like I said, I definitely want to put forward children having had children.
But see what you
In
just said there. That's just part. That's just another. That's just another avenue of the same issue. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like when we when we when we're talking about this, it's not just we can point our finger to. It's coming. There's so many like levels, and it's been going on for so long that okay. What I will say is this.
That's what
It,
I'm saying, babe. That's what I'm saying. It's so multi-layered. Do you know what I mean? It's certainly not a one-size-fits-all thing. So when we talk about solutions, you know what I mean? There will never be one solution. There's so many things that we have to look at. But I totally agree with you in terms of it's not a one. But I'm just saying that's just one thing that I'm putting
yeah.
forward. It's
That's
just
just one
a
thing.
problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, well,
yeah, definitely.
let me say this because
So
I
that's
think
something that we can potentially solve going forward, though. You know what I mean? In terms of trying to encourage our children not to be having children so early, etc., etc. Because the abortion rates, this, that, and the other, it's off the scale out there, man. Like, anyway, go on. Sorry, babe.
yeah. One thing I'll say is this that I think everyone can relate to and go, oh yeah, is a level of conservatism in the community. And what I mean by conservatism is like, do you remember a time where um, the elders of the community could um, bring a child into check? Do you know what I'm saying? Like if a like this,
100%.
right? So that's a level of conservatism. Do you know what I mean that we had in individual communities in the Jamaican community and in the Nigerian community and independently in the Ghanaian community and things like that. It's like
These
I
things were
remember a time.
installed from early. Mm.
Right. I remember a time where, you know, we'd be young and we'd be doing boyish things. But as soon as you see auntie, you fix up straight, stand up straight and fix up your clothes. Yeah, hello, auntie, and thing like that. Listen, on the roads, you might think you're the biggest, baddest you on the road, But then back in the day, when you called up your brethren on the house phone, on the landline, it weren't no,
Come on.
yo, is Starter there? Yo, is Reaper there? It weren't no, oh, hello, Mrs. Williams. Is Jason there, please? You know what I mean? Then when Jason comes on the phone, yeah, Reaper, Wagwan. You know what I'm saying? You rolling out. You know what I'm saying? It's a level of respect and conservatism in the
And
community that I
any
see.
community could tell you off as well. Well, certainly for myself, yeah, I was calling all members of the community aunt and uncle. You see it? Irish. There's no old person that I could just call Wendy and nothing like that. My next door neighbour was an old Irish woman. She was Aunt Nora until she left. You get
Yeah.
me? So I agree with you in terms of the conservatism, 100%, like 100%.
And that's what I see that's missing in the black community as a whole. Big up Scattered Minds in the chat. Bless up, family. That's what I see that's missing in the community as a whole. But I still see that same conservatism in other communities, such as the Jewish community, the Arabic community, the Pakistani, the Indian Sikh community. They have this level of conservatism. Like, let one of them youths
Because
start wiling
children,
out.
how children box are. If you look at some of the young people that we're talking about, yeah, obviously we're generalizing again, but and then you look at some of their parents, then you know what I'm saying to you.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, yeah,
let me leave the parents alone still, but because
yeah.
you could have like a young child that's in beef, yeah, or in a situation, and instead of the parent try to de-escalate it, yeah, the parents on a hype thing as well.
It does happen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But as you
Do you see
say,
what I'm
that's
saying to you? So yeah, I mean, I'm probably being a bit horrible. Let me mute up, man, because I'm just let me mute up. But
no, you're good.
no, but I do. No, but you know what it is, because I work in education and things like that. You understand me? So that's probably why it's more prominent to myself. You with me? You know,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
terms of the whole pet thing. That's probably why I'm banging on. But let me mute up still. My apologies.
yeah. I mean, with that, I do put that down to a personal level, because obviously I know, and I know you're not saying this now by any means. Obviously, there are circumstances and situations where certain people are they make mistakes, or they're forced into being a young parent and thing like that. It does happen like that, and so it's not a generalization to as into uh, 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 demonize young mothers or whatever like that. You know what I mean? And then also on top of that, you know, the older generation, they were having kids kind of early, and nowadays, parents generally are in their early 30s and thing like that, or late 20s and thing like that. So there's that kind of generational thing there as well. But I think it's definitely a community. To me, it's a community thing as opposed to like an individual thing, a community and a cultural thing, because we weren't always like this. Like, to give you another example, let's take this back to the 1920s, in Jim Crow America, right? Where you had the communities, the family was together, and the black community over there was prospering in in Jim Crow. Do you know what I mean? Because they had no choice but to spend their money within the communities and things like that. But somewhere down the line, between that period there and, let's say, I'll say the 1970s, everything got blown apart. Obviously, the father was taken out of the systematically taken out of the household in Americas, and also that the same sort of thing applied over here. We know that, but then there's a whole load of cultural influences that have come in, penetrated, and has stuck with us, and has caused this kind of, now we're looking at this picture and going, rah, that's an issue there, that's an issue there, there's an issue here, there's an issue there, and it's like, this hasn't happened overnight. It's taken years, and it's layers of culture being built on top of each other. So now we're in a culture where you've got these young black boys trying to jump up into their skinny jeans whilst still advertising their briefs, their boxers, you know what I mean, and all of that, and they're sipping lean over there in America, and doing all types of outlandish, wild things. You know what I mean? So this is an adaptation to when I was growing up. When I was growing up, it was about being a bad man, a rude boy. You know what I mean? That's what we used to call ourselves back in the day. It weren't no road man. It was like, yo, rude boy, yo, man, a rude boy, rude boy. You know what I mean? It was that, and you know, all of that kind of thing. But it's evolved. It's like every
But these
generation.
boys were still quite masculine, though, right?
Yeah, they exactly. Yeah, they were. Listen,
Whereas
back
these bad boys are quite feminine.
exactly. This is what I'm saying. It's an evolution to me. The idea that man would be jumping up into skinny jeans and doing all this other stuff like especially this homosexual thing as well. That's very prominent now. It was unthinkable that you would have a homosexual rapper or whatever. It was just completely unthinkable. Like that was just a no back in the day. Do you know what I mean? But now I don't know, man. It's changed, and looking at the pattern, it's only going to get worse. God knows what the next generation are going to be into. You know, um,
Well, they've used us to enforce the change, though, haven't they? Because it could be argued that we, especially black men, were the last bastion when it came to certain things. Do you know what I
mhm.
mean? But like, I see, for me, as from we fallen, that's it. It's a free fall. That's how I see it, man. And I come back to El Baders. I'm telling you, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
And the
mad.
thing
That's a
is,
mad thing.
anything we do, yeah, we do it to the full 100, whether it
Yeah,
be good or bad.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? But, yeah, man.
It's
But
it's
yeah,
it's bad.
solution based.
I mean,
No, the truth.
so to me, the solution has to come from there needs to be a cultural shift. It's not impossible. There needs to be a cultural shift, back to
I'm a
conservatism
little bit
within the community.
weary of you using the word cultural shift, though. Like, I'm not gonna lie, boxer,
Go
because
ahead.
yeah, because then that would infer that. Are you then inferring that it's actually become part of our culture, what we're describing here now,
What? Yeah, this is
as
our culture,
opposed?
isn't it? This whole these young youths running around. Like when I say it's culture, it's like
Nah, nah, I'm not. Nah, I'm not gonna. Nah, I'm not gonna have it as our culture. No, no, no. I'll have it as maybe some youth culture, so maybe with a little subheading, but I can't have it as just culture to put over everybody. Nah.
no,
Um,
of course not
let,
everybody.
let me come in because let's clarify. It's a problem in our culture, and I know Nine. She just said it's part of the youth. I don't know about out there, but out here, it's not the youth. It's 40-year-olds doing
Oh
all that
yeah,
shit,
yeah. I remember
running
you saying,
around.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it ain't just the youth out here. You got
Yeah,
40-year-olds doing this stuff.
yeah, fair play, brother. I hear that still, and we could probably say the same over here, so I'll take that. But
The
oh
reason,
no, I don't want to say it's our culture.
All
wait,
good.
No, I can't.
wait. The reason why I say it's our culture, of course, boy, better not. I'm not involved in none of that stuff. You know what I mean? I don't do none of that, and I'm part of the culture, right? So when I say culture, I don't mean everyone in it is doing it. Of course, I'm talking about a certain, if you like, demographic of the culture that subscribe to the whole skinny jeans thing, and let me not just pick on skinny jeans as if that represents the whole thing, but people that subscribe to this whole drill music and ops and you
Let's
didn't
just
kill
call
me,
them the slaves, man.
whatever you want to call them, whatever you want to
Call
call them.
them,
The
yes,
youths
the
that are
slaves. All right, I
subscribed,
can work with.
the the youths that this stuff appeals to, that's who I'm talking about. Them, right? So they're us, and that's why I say it's part of the. We need to have a kind of a cultural shift in this. That's where I see because as I say, the conservatism used to be there. It used to be there in the community, but on top of that, as I say, it's multi-layered. When you're talking about the community, well, what community? Now, a lot of us have been displaced and things like that, and it's changed. A lot of things have changed, but there's obviously no one-hit answer to say, okay, boom, here's the magic wand. All we have to do is wave it, and then everything nice. And of course, even if there was a positive change that caught on like a viral kind of thing, yeah, I mean, no doubt that the system will go, okay, we got something for you. Let's have a tink around behind the scenes like they did in the '60s and etc. But yeah, Lady D, you there? You got any input on this? How you feel about this?
Yeah, I'm here. Interesting topic, man. Look at, I hear everyone's talking about, the culture and, the young parents and all of this stuff. But what about society? What about over sexualizing the children from an early age? What about all of these things?
Of course, that's I'm talking about all of that as well, because you don't know your
Hmm.
boy Kane likes to see the ladies gyrating their body. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it with a passion. Man, not gonna lie. I have to keep it real with you, 100. But there's a time and a place for all of that. You understand? Well, we've got casually young females running up on Instagram, and the first thing they feel the need to do is this twerking stuff. It's not a good look. I don't
Hmm.
see other demographics females doing that. So when I say about the culture, I'm not just talking about the youth, the boys. I'm talking about the
Hmm.
negative. There's so this is what I'm saying. It's multi-layered. It's not just the knife crimes or in America the shootings and that. I'm talking about the cancer, the sexualization of the young black girls who are also complicit in this, by the way. You know, yeah. Boy, anyway,
All of that. All of that. Yeah. Even the environment that they're coming out of. When you're coming out of something you don't know no better from, example, a hood, and all you see around you is the same thing. How are then you are gonna expect these children to come out and do any better when that's all their influences, all their elders are doing the exact same thing? So all of this plays a part in why we as a community are kind of stuck in this rut. And what I'm not seeing is a lot of parents willing to do enough to get their children out of the environments that they're in.
but would you say, of course, I know you're not blaming the parents like everyone, but would you say that the
No,
parents
no,
are?
no.
Would you say that the parents maybe don't understand the use? Some of the parents don't understand the use, and of course, some of the parents are naive in thinking that, well, when he's here, he's a good boy, but they don't know that when he's on road, he's a little demon child.
100%. I see that every day. 100%. You hear them parents talking about, oh, my child would never do this, or my child would never do. Yeah, understanding these times they don't know, say, right. Or they do know it, and they might just pretend like, oh, it's not really that bad, or what I mean. Like, there's a lot that plays a part in it, and that's why I say society, because it does take more than, they say to take the village to raise a child. Sometimes some
Exactly.
of us can step in, you understand? So I can't just blame the parents. I got to blame the whole environment. Like, well, they say, what, drop off head, drop on shoulder. So they're only going to copy and emulate what they're seeing as their influences around them.
Exactly, exactly. And this is my point this is my thing about when I refer to the community and things like that. This is what I'm talking about. The village raised we used to have that mentality, and I call that whole thing there conservatism. Maybe it's not the right word or choice of word. Some people might be offended, but I don't know. But it's just the one thing that I could it's popped into my mind that represents my point is that conservatism. Like, let one of them Hindi boys or Pakistani boys start wiling out in the community, and watch how some one of them elder Indian ladies pull them in check.
Hmm. and
That,
and she's right to do so. It's just that we're not checking our own enough. And then when you do check somebody else's youth, they're quick to come and tell you, say, don't chat to my youth like that. Allow my youth. You lot are
And
moving
that's
on.
my
I ain't
point.
got time for that. I ain't got time
That's
for that. Let them.
exactly my point, man.
Mm.
Sorry to cut in, but and then the thing is as well, what I want to add to that then, yeah, that's why I'm saying, why is it that we are being affected by these things? Because sis just mentioned like hypersexualization and things like that, but it's not like, you know, that hypersexualization is going out to everyone. So it's about who's catching it. Do you know what I mean? And then so why are we catching it more than others? But just to even keep so many things going on. I'll be back. Bloody
no problem,
Sis
no
has got
problem.
so much, yeah, that she's got to add to it, that she's losing her train of thought. But I know where she's
Yeah,
going with this. I know where she's going still.
yeah, yeah. And it's like I see the same thing, and this is why I always come back to all
Yeah.
one. We're all one people. I always come back to this thing that we're all one people. We just do things in our own unique way, and etc. and etc. Okay,
That's
bless
what I was
up,
gonna
Brenda.
mention.
Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead, man.
sorry. And Lady B, you know what I was gonna add to what you just said, yeah, as well, yeah. When we then take into consideration also this, maybe Boxer wants to call it part of the culture, yeah. But when you can have a 21-year-old being called an elder, you understand me? And he's never paid a bill, you understand me? He's never had no responsibilities, yeah. All he's done is ride bicycle, and you're now an elder. That's another problem. You know what I
That's
mean? In
a
them
joke.
echelon, huh?
That's a joke.
You see what I'm saying to you?
That's a
Now,
joke.
no, and this is what I'm trying to say about. I don't think things like that could happen in another community.
I've not seen
Hell
it. I've
no,
not seen it.
elder. You're lucky if you get called an elder after you pass 40. They're still looking at you like you're some spring chicken in other communities.
Of
So I'm not
course.
So,
understanding how we get to 18, 16, and 21 and they're talking about the elders for who? Who are
well,
you
you see,
elders for?
well, I've got my little theory about it. Yeah,
Hmm?
it's like like some man where gal is their occupation. Yeah, they can't do nothing else. They ain't got no other skill set. You know what I mean? They're not educated or whatever. So for their life, gal is their occupation. Yeah. So what I'm saying that to say, because enough of these youths ain't disciplined to go and become responsible. You with me? To become an elder, as it were. They're just making up their own regiment. That's the point that I'm trying to make. You know what I mean? They just make up their own regiment. Yeah, you're my younger. It's just madness, man. Like I'm really being quite facetious, but that's how stupid I see it to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But something that it's been allowed to cultivate. So then who's allowing it to be to cultivate? Who's allowing, do you know what I mean, 21-year-olds to be calling themselves elders amongst 40-year-olds? So what are the 40-year-olds, and you get me, what are they saying? I don't know, man.
It's a
But
good
yeah, I
Says
hear
question.
you.
40-year-olds ain't got
Everyone wants,
nothing to say because the 40-year-olds are being written off as old people. You don't see how they're talking already. You don't hear how they're talking around you. Like some 40-year-olds are all some like old people. And like what
um
I still consider my elders as like I have elders and my elders are all like 60s and upwards. So I'm not
but
understanding how they've
thank
written
you.
off 30 and 40-year-olds. I'm not
Yeah,
understanding
yeah.
this foolishness.
Because they want to create their own thing, yeah? Then they'll complain that, oh, the elders don't, the elders and that. But they don't listen. They don't
Hard of
listen,
hearing. Yep.
yeah?
Hard of
But then they
hearing.
want to complain. But you don't listen. And on top of that, you tell the elder you will take off his head. Understand? So the elder's now got to think about, well, should I take this youth serious? Or should I really deal with him? Or should I really stay and live for my family and my grandchildren? You understand what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
It's a madness.
All
Eh?
right. Let's
That's how enough
let.
of the elders are actually scared of the youth. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
I see.
massive
I actually see that.
problem.
But what I'm saying, bless up, Brenda. Bless up, Brenda. Thanks for coming through. Still, I don't think we've spoken
Hello.
before, but I've definitely seen you about. You know what I mean? And I know you hear the conversation. I would like to get your input on this as well. That some of the things that we've been talking about, we pertains to London and our experience in London. Um, what how does this relate to where you are, and or is everything good where you are, or can you relate to what we're saying? Is it just a different way in a different form, or what's it like where you are?
You hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you.
This is my first time using this, so okay. So
No
thank
problem.
you for um you sent me the link I guess a few weeks ago. So thank you very much. And I actually live in London.
Oh, of course you do,
And
West London. Yeah, of course you do. Right, 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 right. Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, so but that I'm American, I'm very much tapped into what's going on there, I'm a native New Yorker.
Okay, so with what the things that we've been talking about, Lady D and Nine Ether, do you see that where you are in London, like in West London or whatnot. Do you see that, or do you not really see that, or can you
Are
relate to
you
it?
talking? Well, yeah, I live in a weird area where I don't see too many people that look like me, unfortunately. But so to be sure that I'm staying on topic, are you talking about the number of black men who are
So we're talking.
homosexual?
Oh no, no, not that
No.
specifically.
Okay,
No.
what are you talking
Okay,
about?
okay, I got you, I got you. So yeah, it's. How can I rephrase this and package it up neatly with a bow on top? Um,
Okay.
so what we're talking about is just this the negative aspects that we seem to have in our culture as it pertains to these young people engaging in this the notion that it's cool to be a bad, what we call a bad man, or you know, someone that's like you know, living the street life or the road life. And then you've also got the young girls that are being hypersexualized, and they don't see nothing wrong with it, and they see it as kudos that they can, you know, gyrate their bodies in certain way and advertise themselves, indirectly advertise themselves to the whole world, not knowing that it's having a detrimental effect on not only them long term, but the rest of the community. We're talking about basically, you know, this whole kind of I don't even, I'm struggling to kind of put a label or a name on it. Um, but this kind
Well,
of
I think in the States we call it kind of call
ratchetness.
it being ratchet.
Right, right. There we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This whole
You know,
ratchetness.
Hood rat.
hood rats, exactly. Hood
uh,
rat, and I'm proud. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh,
Nine Ether was talking about whatever that brother's name is, doing some outlandish stuff on whatever platform. I think she said Twitter. But I've also seen black American ladies with no shame. They're just fully all out saying, "Hey, look, I do this. This is what I do, and I don't give a fuck." That's what
oh
they're saying.
yeah. Oh, it's terrible. It's funny. I hear you guys talking about elders. Well, I'm an elder. Okay, so I may not sound like it, but I am. I've been around.
Yeah, yeah. You
I oh,
definitely don't sound like it.
I don't look it either. Praise the Lord.
You know
But
what they say about black. That's what I'm gonna say.
black don't crack. Black don't crack. That's right. Yeah, this is wow. This is huge. I mean, it's just
It's a huge
I
discussion.
don't get it. I don't get it. And I think you're talking about, because I grew up in a black community in America. We're very conservative as a people. We tend to be when it comes to things like that.
Yeah.
And even I even remember as a child in what we call our housing projects. You call this,
The council
what do you
estates
call it
or
here?
estates.
Estates, but yeah, the U.S. equivalent to that. And we had, men who were dressers and sexuals, but it wasn't like this in your face stuff. You knew who they were. Um, when they came on the weekends, they would go out and and but it didn't like it wasn't in your face.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the problem right now is all of this is like in your face. It upsets me.
yeah, yeah.
Upsets me. And our kids don't need to do this. I wish we could have a psychologist. Why? Is it social media that's making people do this?
I
It
think
might be.
I think it's so many different. I don't think it's one thing. I think it's so many different aspects that
Oh
leads
yeah.
to it. You know,
I think it's social media is part of it. I think, escalation of black men
hmm
that upsets me. You know, black performers, men, you know, who put on a dress, a few
yeah, yeah.
laughs, or it's just, oh my lord, all our problems in the black community, not just in America but even here. We don't need this. Bigger
Yeah.
fish to fry. You know, we need to conquer income inequality big time.
Yeah.
Yo, do you remember when Obama landed in Jamaica and said, "What? I'm telling you, that was the beginning of the end, yeah. Because with that they kind of legalized or decriminalized the gating, if you remember, yeah.
hmm
And then they kind of allowed the man them to have like I think it's like £3 a weed.
Yeah, I thought about Obama.
I don't know if you see the play, you know. I don't know if you see the play, man. Oh dear. But what I want to say again, being slightly facetious, but what about the food that these people are smoking? Do you think that's got anything to do with it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't blaze. When we say food, we're referring to the tweed.
Yeah.
Tweed.
hmm
Well,
To
yeah,
the
Wait
to
that.
a
the
minute. Wait, what?
to
When
the
you say
you're
food,
referring to the Bob Marley. You're
Well,
referring to the
Yeah.
yeah,
Bob Marley.
initially, but I think we also have to accept that, Bob Marley's gone to Bob Dylan for some of our young people. You with me? 'Cause
No,
some of them are doing all type of things, man. It's not
well,
just.
that is an issue. That is an issue.
I
Especially
mean,
here. I
yeah.
never expected it here. That it's not just Bob Marley. People are embracing like something like pills is very popular in popular culture. There's something called promethazine in which a lot of people are embracing, and it's not just, unfortunately, it's not just trees, it's other things as well. You know, it's not just one thing, because you even have rappers who are doing more than one thing as well. That's the whole thing. And
Oh,
who do the
lean and
youth
all
look
that kind
at?
of stuff.
Yeah, and who do the youth
hmm
look at? They look at the rappers, you know what I mean? And so if a rapper is saying that he's doing Molly, then what is the youth gonna do? He's gonna go get some Molly. You know what I mean?
okay,
Because
well,
at the end of the day, some people uh can't think. I mean, they can't like really use discernment, you know, in with the rap music. You know, they can't use discernment and
you
and
mentioned
look
Bob
at it.
Marley.
No, Bob Marley. I mentioned Bob Marley is just weed. That's the slang for
Oh,
weed. You know. Yeah,
oh,
so
yeah,
we call
okay,
it
but
Bob Marley.
weed forever. You know, my late father smoked weed. Um, half my family smoked weed back in the day, and that I don't think the weed has anything to do with it.
No,
Yeah,
but
I totally
Ah,
agree.
you're joking, sis, man. You can't compare the weed of old to the weed of today.
yeah, that's
Oh,
what I was gonna say. Do
okay,
you think there's a check? Because I
I
don't
won't make
blaze,
that.
but isn't it different now?
okay,
Because I heard people talking about it's different. It's just a different thing now. No.
okay. Well, I
Yeah,
just don't.
it's different.
Completely, man.
Mm,
Completely. And I say it with authority. Completely.
mm.
Yeah. And the thing is, what you have to understand, even if we say that some people hypothetically started to smoke at an early age, yeah, in like 16 and whatever. Like, with the young people now that start to smoke, they're starting to smoke earlier than that, yeah. And the levels of TCT or whatever they call it in the ting is not comparable to days of old. And days of old, the ting was coming straight from the ground, from the sun, water, and everything else. These things are actually GMO. I mean, listen, when you've got our no, not even that. When you got people smoking things like AK-47, yeah,
I know that.
do you understand?
Well,
And I can go through a whole list whereby times gone by, no one couldn't get you to put something like that in your system.
yeah,
You'd be like, what? Especially as melanated people.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's I
This
know,
is
and then
oil.
on top of it, the expense that they made GMO more expensive than high grade. There's a sickness out here, family. I'm telling you, it's a sickness. But yeah, what I'm trying to say though is that I really do think that the food has got something to do with some of their behavior. Not necessarily all, but some. Yeah, because as far as I'm concerned, you're not supposed to be able to really smoke something and go out on a move. Yeah, weed ain't supposed to do that to you. Yeah,
Mm,
weed is not supposed to make you go out there and go and do things like that
that's
and
right.
smoke. It's
Yeah,
supposed
because
to
weed would just used to just make you real mellow, make you
Are you
hungry.
mean? It's supposed to be their reasoning. The amount of weed some of these youths are smoking, it's supposed to be like Einstein out there with the reasoning that's supposed to be going on in a headspace. But they're going on moves. That's not weird to me.
Mm.
That back in the day, that was crack. When a man was going to move, they have a crack. And this is
You're right. You're right. I mean, because back in the day, weed made you, know,
and
I mean,
eat
and eat exactly,
and maybe even get
exactly.
horny. I don't even think these youths get
And
horny
yeah,
like
yeah,
that no
maybe.
more. I think they just have sex because they think it's what they gotta do. I don't even think. I'm telling you, they're not well.
Hey, and you know what? She's right. Every time you hear like these rappers talking about like even like trying to have sex, they always gotta like talk about, oh, I gotta pop a pill and then do this. They can't even have sex right
Yeah,
anymore.
Wow.
but I'm saying, sis, imagine you're like, I don't want to go too far, but ladies, imagine you're dealing with that, and you know that to be with, you have to pop a pill. Good Lord, fuck.
Not in, not in my day.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
Okay, I'm showing my
Hey,
elderness. Okay, not in my day.
he ain't shit without that pill.
oh dear.
Oh boy. Wow.
Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
wow, you got a point. Wow.
That's crazy. Me, I don't need none of that
No,
stuff.
but
Let me not go too far,
no,
Bakai, you know
but
what I mean?
but but also though, I want to say something. Not to cut you off.
Yeah,
Forgive
go
me for
ahead.
cutting you off. Also, I want to say something else though that plays a factor as well. Um, I want to say that you know the type, not just I know you say food. You say food basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but literally food affects it too. Literally the type of food that you eat affects things as well because a lot of times the food here is processed food. You know what I mean? And that kind of has a lot to do with it as well. You know, because at the end of the day, like most of the food, it has like ingredients that you're not able to pronounce, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
like instead you have to kind of like really seek out to get like food that says like just has raw ingredients, that just has the ingredients that the original food is meant for because yeah, you'll be surprised how just like the food affects the food that we eat does affect. It's sad, but it's true.
It's a sinister society that we live in right now, and that combined with many other factors creates a situation that we find ourselves in having these types of conversations for um, that we can say you know. And the reason why I'm having this conversation is just to, get, ideas and things like that, because I don't have the answers, like I don't think there's like one. And this is why, I want to hear ideas and things like that, just to see, you know if the temperature's right, if I'm just making shit up, or not making stuff up, but reaching, as you say, or whether, people are feeling the same way about, the situation in our various communities and things like that, so yeah. But the one thing that I've always said consistently is that, everything aside, in an ideal world, in whatever communities, local communities we're in, whether you're in LA, Texas, California, London, Manchester, or Timbuktu, until we return back to having a sense of pride and positive pride in the community. And I use that word specifically because people can take that and say, well, yeah, I got pride. Man's from SE18 or SE14 or SW2. Yeah, man. No, forget all that postcode war stuff. Until we have a sense of pride in the community, and the level of respect in the community, I can only see us really going downhill as we, get displaced into the system, or the dominant society. As we get displaced into the dominant society, where we're trying to, and listen, when I say these things, right, like, the dominant society and being part of the wider society, which specifically I'm talking about, black people trying to work for the corporations, and be part of the police force, the fire service, and the armed forces. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, but it's kind of like, we've got examples of the Jewish community, the Chinese community, the Pakistani, the Indian, all these other communities. They don't really complain about racism too tough, I know the Jews in London have been piping up a bit about the Labour Party, but these other communities don't really complain too much about racism, because they're not trying to be part of the wider society. They've got their businesses, they sell us our hair and beauty cosmetics, and they sell us these meats and stuff like that, and they get the money from our community, they pump it back into their community. Do you know what I mean? And they're good. They ain't trying to be, on top of some footsie, or what you guys call it, Fortune 500 company or whatever. They're about their community, and they have that what did we call it before, conservatism, or whatever other terms we called it before. They have that sense of conservatism in their community and stuff, and until we return to something like that, or in fact, until we return back to that, I don't know what the situation is like in the United States. I'm speaking more from a London perspective. Until we return to having to that, then I can only see the situation just getting worse. The next generation that comes forth is just going to get worse.
You made some very good points there. Our problem is in the Black community, whether it's here in London or in the United States, is we don't have our own businesses. We are consumers. Our money pocket from the plantation, the job we're on, to other people, whether they be white people or Indians or any or whatever, whoever. Our money does not stay in our community. And I see this worldwide.
Yeah.
It's sad, because as a child, I always tried to, we always try to buy black. You tried to. The black businesses couldn't compete. Even I go around London, and I'm looking for stores to go to where I can patronize black people, and I can't find them. It's the same thing in the States. Economic inequality, that's killing us.
Yeah.
And that's what's doing us in. If we were economically independent, give a fuck about racism, quite frankly, I wouldn't care or not, because I've got my own, I've got my own home, I've got my own community, I have my own support system, and I don't give a fuck about you people, and that's their attitude towards us.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just want our money. They don't give a fuck about us.
Because they're subscribing to the concept of the wider society. And the system has always sold us this idea that we should be part of the system. We should be part of, sorry, not the system, the wider society. You should aspire to be an MP. You should aspire to do this. You should aspire to do that. The same thing has been sold to in London, the Asian community, and they haven't bought into it. They've just said, nah, you're all right, you're cool. We see how you do the black people. Nah, you're all right. We're cool. We've got our community. We're doing our thing over here, and it's all good.
Yeah,
And
and yeah, they have their distinct community, which is self-sustaining. Down to
right,
Chinatown in London, hey, they got their own banks.
yep, they do. The Turkish man there out here, they've got the Bank of Turkey, they've got their own
Yep.
banks, everything. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I just think
And
that.
this,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brenda.
no, I'm sorry. You were talking. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is kind of the thing that, like I mentioned before earlier in the stream, that in the United States during the Jim Crow era, the 1920s and etc. Because as a result of Jim Crow, black people over there were forced to spend money with each other, and they were forced into communities and etc. And that era was probably the best period in American history for black people. Do you understand? And it wasn't until somewhere between 1920s and probably the 1960s, there was a radical change. Obviously, we know about, the system taking the black man out of the house and all of that. Yeah, we know about that. But, there was a
Well,
lot.
but also as an American, being a descendant of slaves, I can trace my family back to 1629 in Jamestown, Virginia, when my ancestors were brought across in slave ships. Period for black people in America.
Uh-huh.
Ever. Segregation and Jim Crow, yes, we did have to have stores, our own communities, but even then the white supremacists would rob our communities, steal our land. I'm sure you guys have heard of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yep. Black Wall Street and that. Yep.
Community that they actually, this is the first time in American history that they dropped a bomb on American citizens outside of war. I mean, it's what they've done to us in America has been relentless.
Yeah. It's been
Had a,
absolutely relentless.
yes, and it's still alive and well today. I remember when I first moved over here, and I was talking to some people, and I said, "You guys don't realize a nation America is." Now, you guys, are you watching this? What's going on with Donald Trump? And all his stuff that he's saying right now. It's been there all along.
Yeah.
Vocal about it. So, it's time. God, we need a revolution.
Mm-hmm.
We've been underneath their thumb 100 years in America. And not only do we get abused by immigrants that have come over other places and look down on us.
Yeah, like the
Because
Koreans, the South Koreans, and yeah, I know about that. They come into the community, they set
everybody,
up and
there is not one immigrant community in America that does not look down on American blacks. I don't want you people throwing stuff at me, but that includes black that have come to America. Us. I'm just being real. I'm just I'm just telling you it for real.
Okay, okay.
So
So like I obviously I've not lived in America or anything like that, but I think I get an understanding as to what it might be like, because I know that when I've been talking about this conservatism thing, and it seems to be lost over here in London or the UK and thing, or in the communities over here. The one thing I do know of is that, let's say for example, the Nigerians, they do have that conservatism in their culture, because when they come over here or when they go over to the United States, boy better know the parents instill in them that they expect them to be doctors or some kind of high ranking professional, or something, a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, right? So um I guess over there, speaking specifically of the Nigerians and other West African groups, if you like, they will have this kind of conservatism aspect to them, and they specifically, I guess they see the very things that we're talking about, the negative cancer that we have in our culture. They see that and they want to keep them away from from that so-called culture of, oh yeah, this is the hood and it's cool to be in the hood, and do all this ratchet stuff on Instagram and things like that. And I'm not speaking for you or for Americans or for Nigerians. I'm just saying that that's what I would imagine, speaking specifically on, because over here we have, most of us either come from Africa or the West Indies, and etc. And we have connections. Most of us have connections, direct lines back to one of these countries. And I would imagine that from their point of view and perspective, that's probably what's going on there.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say one thing. The black community in America is overwhelmingly very conservative. So we're, ratchet culture and black Americans, all there. That's of us, but it's very visible. Face. Americans are pretty conservative, want to, raise their and go to church and go to work and school and do all that. So ratchet culture that's an outlier. That's not who we are.
Oh,
but unfortunately, come from other black immigrant groups. Say, well, oh, look at these black Americans. They're twerking all over the place. They're doing no. That's not who we are. And I think because of like this and the internet as a diaspora, we're able to connect with each other. Now, the things that we have in common. We have more things in common, essential things that we have in common as melanated people.
Yeah.
Own distinct cultures. Like the Jamaican culture, the Nigerian culture, and also, the Nigerians that have come to America and want to be doctors and lawyers. Well, these people in Nigeria were already fairly wealthy anyway. So that's how they were able to come across to America. So, a lot of them they came from professional families to begin with.
Well, boy, I don't know about your Nigerians, but the Nigerians over here, not all of them are wealthy. I'll tell you that now. Some of them have just come over here.
All. I'm not saying all, but I'm saying a lot of the Nigerians that have U.S., they come from very well off.
Right. like
Yeah,
middle
and
class or maybe upper middle class kind of.
middle class, and they're the ones that come there and they apply for the Harvard University and they get in, and they're the ones who become you know on TV like Joy Reid, and I think I'm not sure if she's from Africa, but I'm not sure it's Nigerian. But anyway, so it's a really complicated. It really is, and people there's no way we can assimilate white people, whether they're from Ireland or light skinned people from Spain or all of those immigrant groups, so all of the white immigrant groups have been allowed to assimilate
Yeah, yeah.
in Tokyo. But because of our dark skin, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible.
The reason why I
You're
laugh,
always going to be seen.
the
I'm
reason
sorry,
why,
brother.
no, it's cool. The reason why I laugh is, um, uh, actually, I'll mention that another time because that's going to take us down another conversation. But it's kind of funny. Let me write that down. I'll mention that later. But I just wanted to get Spice. I see you jump back in, Queen. Um, can you hear us, Spice? Oh, let me see
Yep,
if
I'm
she's.
here. I'm here. Big up. And big up Brenda. Lady
Hello,
Queen.
Big up,
Queen.
big up. How you feel about all this, Spice? What we're
No, what
talking
she's
about
saying
now?
is fact. It's all facts, man. It's we were allowing, like I've said and been saying, we are very inclusive. We allow people to assimilate to our so-called culture. We also have allowed negativity to be deemed as our culture, and it's crazy. And even though it seems like she was saying like it's I'm a minority of black people that are entertaining this wretched kind of thing. I don't know whether because it's been like it's been put underneath a microscope where it looks like that's what it means to be American black culture. I am aware there's people that are very conservative, especially the ones that, like you said, Nigerians, some Panaranians, and other, that are like come from like a upper kind of class of black. But yeah, it's just crazy how we've actually got here. Like it's crazy, and it's like we just need to start at the root of the problem because it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like even talking about it is just I'll just be shaking my head because it's like it's just crazy. It's
But
crazy.
believe me, family, most black people are not ratchet. Okay, I just wanted to
Yeah,
Oh, of course, of
yeah,
course.
tell you that
yeah.
my uncle's a lawyer. Okay.
Hmm. But the problem with that is that you have a lot of people that are like that, and they still like still adopt this kind of ratchet kind of behavior, even though they're in upper echelon. Not to say that I don't agree with the fact that it's not all black. It's not all black people. Like it's not all black people as well. Like you seen the program on YouTube about the strictest parents? You go to
Oh yeah, yeah,
Jamaica. You
yeah. I've
go to
seen that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Like
That's
even
the
when I was
Spice. That's the conservatism that I'm talking about. You see it there?
yeah, because even I was gonna say to you, even when I was was dating a guy, and he was a big man, he had kids, and when I spoke to them, they had manners. Like they were brought up
Mm-hmm.
with manners. You understand? They knew how to say yes, ma'am, and the thing, and they had manners. So, like, I think it's just because certain behavior is emulated and put on a pedestal and put on a microscope where it makes it look so catastrophic and make it look like it's everybody, and that's the narrative that they're trying to push in it, that
Mm,
this is the way we are as a collective, opposed
Yeah.
to, you understand? Yeah, so this is
yeah.
what this is the problem. So I can agree with that. It's not everybody. Like even for me, like the way I grew up and the way I think, people don't like some people. I have a lot of problem with people because that I grew up with because and people around me because they are kind of shocked that even though in all the trauma and nonsense, like I said, my mum really upheld the Ghanaian kind of standard. So
Yeah.
I do have morals and I do have integrity and I do like take character very highly. Now, some people might look at me by the way I talk or whatever and think, and they won't think that, but I really do. You understand what I'm saying? So it really, it's like it's not everybody's just trying to like assimilate this nonsense. You understand? It's like people become products of their environment. You understand what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
yeah, so it's not a thing where it's a broad like where you're gonna tar everyone with the same brush. It's just because it's an agenda and a narrative that they're trying to push out. Unfortunately, some of us are helping perpetuate that. So that's the problem. That's where the problem lies.
So
Yeah.
You're right. You're right, Queen.
what do you think, Nine? Don't tell me Nine Eva's gone sleep.
Everyone's on mute.
But she's probably busy in the background, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I've got
Yeah.
another thing I want to ask the panel. I want to ask the panel. I can't remember who it was that touched on colorism earlier. Is it a big thing over here in London or whatever? But I've got a next thing. How about this skin bleaching business? Because I was oblivious to this whole skin bleaching epidemic up until about maybe 3 years ago, I think. That's when I realized that, this is really a thing, you know. Um, Flipping, oh,
Is
where I
it
start
a
with this?
thing here in England?
Oh, what? Yeah, it is by proxy, yeah, because it's
Really?
by proxy, yeah, by proxy, yeah. I see, and you can see it a mile off. I see enough because it is a big thing in Jamaica and a big thing in Nigeria as well. I'm not too sure
I
about
know it's a
Ghana.
big thing in Nigeria. I heard about that, but I didn't know it was such a big thing here
Oh, I mean, it's
in the
not huge.
UK.
It's not huge, but you see it when you see it. Like I see certain
Mm,
ladies in particular, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, you're bleaching, you bleach, and you know, and usually, I'm not gonna lie, they're either Nigerian or Jamaican. That's what I see
mm,
here in London. But I wouldn't say it's an epidemic like it is in Jamaica and Nigeria, and I don't know the
mm.
full extent of it either. So you know, I'm not talking from a point of
Yeah.
authority. I'm just talking from an observational standpoint. I mean, okay, so let me ask this, Brenda. Is it a thing over there in well, you're over here.
No, but hey, all my family and friends are over there, so I'm in regular touch with them. Um,
Do
it
they do
is.
it over there, like this whole skin bleaching
I'm,
or whatever?
I'm sure some people might, but I don't get a sense that it's a thing like it is in Nigeria, like those where they're like hot and heavy into that, but not in America. No, um, no, I believe it is.
You seen this, Hyphy? You seen this from your experience? Have you seen anyone walking around with black knuckles and allegedly they're lighter skinned?
Black knuckles.
I'm
Nah,
just keeping it
I ain't
real.
seeing all that shit.
You know what? You're gonna have me staring at people's knuckles now, and then looking at their face and looking at.
And black kneecaps as
Man.
well. Yeah, man.
Ah!
There's certain parts that where the melanin is just, you know what I mean? They're saying, nope, you ain't fucking with me. You can take that shit to the legs and the arms. You know what I mean? Don't fuck around with me. You know what I mean? That's the Haitian. You know what I mean? That's the Haitian melanin.
Mm.
Yep, stand its ground,
Now
knuckles and the
you're
kneecaps.
gonna see now. You're gonna have me staring at people walking down the street now.
And the elbows as well. Look out for them light skinned ones there. Now, Brenda,
Yes,
everyone's a
exactly.
everyone that's light skinned is a suspect now to Brenda, you know.
I know. I know. I'm gonna look at the face. And I'm gonna look for the knuckles or the knees,
And the elbows as well.
elbows. Yes. Yes.
That's how it go, you know. Let me pick up the chat real quick. Big up Kushti Cosmetics. Bless up, sis. Oh well, Mark Wonderlich, Utah in the house. Yeah, bless up, Mark Wonderlich. Wagwan. I see you watch the boxing and all that. Yeah, man, that was live still. Yeah, Scattered Minds came through Focus Ball and that. Yeah, man. Yeah. Bless up everyone that come through in the chat. And, you know, big up everyone listening on the rebroadcast. You know, I mean, this is a freestyle thing, you know. We just see where the conversation goes, you know. It's freestyle, you know. So,
Hey, we've been talking about food, skinny jeans, AK-47, all type of shit.
yeah. AK. I love Nayi. That's why I love Nayi, you know. Cause the way she expresses herself, she sounds just like my sister. She sounds just like my sister. God, there's a next thing out there called AK-47.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bless up, man.
Well, I've gotten an education because I never heard of that stuff before. Anyway.
Well, if you come across it, don't
Hey,
try it.
you
No.
know what is it's kind of crazy. It's kind of like how like drugs were in like the 80s and stuff. Now, as dumb as it sounds, crack cocaine era, they basically the users of crack cocaine and stuff, if they heard that um a user, which we call a dope fiend, had died, due to like taking some strong stuff, every other user would try to run and get that stuff. Nowadays,
Oh
when they hear
shit.
about that's true. Um, every like dealer would tell you that, and it's like nowadays, every time you I guess like they got this THC percentage of the food. Every time, oh, this is the highest one, I need to try that ASAP, as soon as possible. It's like it's crazy, people like rush for drugs. The more dangerous the drug, the more they want to try it.
Wow,
Well,
that's
that's the
crazy.
nature of addiction. More and more and more.
Wow. That's crazy. So, wait, let me. I just want to make sure I heard this right, Hyphy. You see, you said if a man dies from a certain herb, right? Then people hear about that, they're like, oh shit, what? My man died, yeah? Yo, You're saying that they want
Well,
to
well,
try that stuff instantly?
well, not the food. That was that's like the cocaine, like the crack
Oh,
era back
okay,
in
yeah.
the.
But even so, that's crazy, man.
It's still, but that's still to this day though. If you got like still to this day, yeah. If somebody died, they want to find out. Okay, who got that stuff? I want to try that stuff. That's fucking crazy, right?
Yeah, that's nuts. That's nuts. That's obviously
Yeah, that's
counterproductive.
Oh, that's being a junkie. You want
hell yeah.
you want the strongest stuff you can get your hands on.
Madness. Yeah, I mean that whole crack thing that's not really. I'm not gonna say cultural or anything like that because I don't think that word's appropriate. But that's not really a thing over here. Never really has been a thing over here. Like taking.
The whole history of. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Crack was introduced to the black community.
By the CIA.
Yes, by the white supremacists. And when you look back in the 50s, they pushed in the black community. That's why we had so many of our great jazz musicians who were hooked on heroin. At one
Yeah.
point was, we had Um, we had it was just they did that intentionally of genocide in the black community.
Yeah, it's called chemical warfare.
Yes, absolutely. In the 70s and 80s, crack cocaine. Once again,
Hey, Brenda, I know you're already aware of the experiments that they carried out during that time as well in the 60s and the 70s and that, the Tuskegee experiments and experiments
yeah,
with LSD.
yeah, sickle cell, yeah.
Syphilis, yeah, sickle cell, syphilis and
I'm
shit.
not, syphilis, yes, syphilis, yeah,
Syphilis.
Yeah, LSD.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. And so
Yeah,
all of these addictions that all these drugs that they pushed in the black community was they're trying to get rid of us. Now look at the opioid, okay,
hmm
hit with that. That white people are popping pills and dropping dead. They're opening up rehab clinics for them. They're decriminalizing, whereas they criminalized our addiction.
yeah,
They took our black men and put our black men in
in prison.
jail for using drugs. Men in jail right now for marijuana, which is becoming legal, and we're still trying to get our men out of jail.
Yeah.
Opioid, and the white folks are like, "Oh my God, we need to have rehab clinics, and we need to have understanding and all this." Oh, don't get me started.
So is what you're
Hey,
saying, is that very overt now?
Oh, the opioid.
Yeah, in terms of these
Yeah.
clinics that they're opening for
Oh yeah. In America, yes, they're opening clinics for all these damn and they're not going to jail. Many of them in jail for being pill popping junkies. No, they send them to the hospital or they put them in a clinic, but they don't go to jail. Whereas us, they put us in jail. It's white supremacy in action.
yeah.
hey, I want I guess because you and Spice, I don't think Nine is back yet. I want to ask Spice. I mean, what is like what's the drug problem over there in the UK like? If y'all can elaborate on that.
You there, Spice? All right.
Where is everyone? Who was just speaking?
Yeah, she's probably doing something in the background. That's why.
Who is
Like,
the brother who was just speaking?
oh, that's hyphy.
Hi, hyphy.
Okay,
Hyphy.
hyphy.
I'm in the Los Angeles area.
Oh, another American. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell your accent is American, but I just was like, oh, where's his
Hey,
brother?
wait. Let me
Okay.
ask you. Let me ask you a side question, Brenda. So, he just told you, man. So did he sound like he's from the West Coast?
He sounds he definitely doesn't sound like he's from the East Coast like me.
Right, right, right,
But
right,
I
right.
I actually lived in the West Coast as well, so my accent is somewhere in between.
Okay, okay, okay.
But I knew he was I knew I heard an American accent. So, and I was just wondering, were you an American here, but you're in America still? Okay.
Yeah, because
hmm
we had a conversation. I was just saying that, his accent in particular, I can hear the West Coast tonations, and there's certain key words that Hyphy will say that lets me know, yeah, he's in America. So when I hear other people, it's like, how can I explain it? Like people like Nipsey Hussle, Snoop Dogg, they all say things like time, they say time. How can I say time
What how if he
arrive?
say it?
Yes.
Shit, you already know what time it is. You already
Uh,
know what time. You know, right now.
yeah, so it's the way they say that lets me know, okay, because it's just different. It's just that's what I pick up on.
Mm,
Whereas before I didn't really have an ear for US. Obviously, you can hear South. The South is quite distinctive, but I just thought, oh yeah, all you Americans sound the same. Like, what were you all talking about? Like, I can't hear no difference. You all speak American.
But Hype, could you tell where I was from?
I
Oh
can.
yeah, I already know. Yeah, yeah. I know she coming from somewhere like New York or possibly Jersey. One of
Yeah,
those two. It gotta be.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, New York. Yeah.
I couldn't. The reason why I
Yeah.
couldn't, Brenda, is because your accent is quite RP, like RP neutral for me. You don't have that
hmm
kind of New York, New York. Do you know what I'm saying? That kind of. Did you get where I'm coming from?
I can understand that because I lived in more than one place. I grew
Yeah,
up in New
yeah.
York. But I also lived in California for a long time. But like when I say for a
Long
long, that's
time
very New
for
York.
coffee.
Maybe I should say yeah.
Then them, and that sounds like Italian New York to me. Coffee. Do you want some
But we
coffee?
say coffee. I would say let's go for coffee. Um, you know.
It's very New
So yeah,
York.
there's certain words you will always, will say, well, I know you're American, but where are you from? And I said, well, let's go for coffee and talk about it. And they say, oh, New York.
Yeah, yeah, that's that guy. Yeah, even over here though,
It's good though.
go ahead. What did you say?
No, I was just saying it's good because I know this is Brenda's first time, but and she'll see over time it's good because we get people from. It's not just the UK and America. Also, sometimes we get a few people from different areas, but it's a beautiful thing how we all just collab. Over here we not on some my country's better than yours type shit. No, we
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
trying to just build with each other.
Exactly. That's when LVZ told me about your channel.
Oh, that's my brother right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
she come from LVZ.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's my
that's my
brother.
nigga.
He
I
must
forgot
be
about
busy,
you guys.
otherwise he'd be on right now.
Hey, so Brenda, you follow Lisa pretty strong too, huh?
Yes, yes. I follow Lisa. I follow the True Royal family. True Royal. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go. So if you're listening, Lisa Cabrera, you know what I mean?
Royal is my sister. She is my spiritual sister. Are tight.
Uh huh. That matter of fact, let me big up some channels. Big up the one LVZ, man. You know what I mean? That's my brother right there. That's my brother right there from another mother. You know,
Oh,
look him up if you can.
he's awesome. And he gets sometimes Lisa will sometimes she'll do a chat where we talk about current events and LVZ he's always on the panel
Mm-hmm.
when they hook up the right time because I'm out here in London so I don't always get there. I'm on the panel and then True Royal would be there. So we have a pretty tight group.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people.
It's another brother that sometimes hop on too. I forgot his name, but he be hella funny and shit too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. Top cat. I
Yeah,
mean,
I can't think of his name. Yeah.
yeah. It's all about timing. You know what I mean? Because I just put anyone that's from that's part of the group or the family can come on. It's ain't a public thing. You know what I mean? Even though you can sign up to the Discord, don't be thinking that you can jump on the panel like that. I don't know you like that, Jack. You know what I mean?
I don't
But
know you like that.
you got you got to be approved. You know what I mean? So you know, it's good because we, as I mentioned before, it's good to have these different dynamics, accents and terms, and you know, as I say, it's good to just learn from one another, rather than saying, oh yeah, they're over there, and we don't really know much about them. They're just over there. We just heard there's some black people in the UK, or you know, we don't really. It's good to just have an open kind of dialogue where we can learn from each other and cut out the noise, all that kind of debating and people trying to shout at each other's points at each other and all that. I'm not interested in none of that. You know what I mean? There's other platforms for
Yeah,
that, but you can call it a a melanated cultural exchange.
exactly,
Mm.
exactly.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, because that's what unites us. We are melanated people, and unique. We're very special. We vibrate at a very high spiritual level. That's why that ratchet stuff ain't us. Not it's the stuff the stuff they want to advertise to make us look bad, but that ain't us as a people. You know, we're kings and queens. When you look at our culture, we invented mathematics, we invented language, we built the pyramids, books of religion, all the great culture and knowledge, humanity of this planet came out of black people. And then when you look at it's the exact opposite. It's destructive
Yeah,
attitude that you want to go around the world and conquer people and colonize people and enslave people. That's not what we are about spiritually.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not in our, you know, and it's not in our history to do that, to engage in warfare or
It's not
conquest.
in our DNA. It's not
Yeah,
in our DNA.
yeah,
You know, we come from Mother Africa where everything we could need go
yeah,
around the world, people, when we have everything we need. It's really interesting when you look at all the melanated cultures. They worship the land.
yeah,
Native Americans, they weren't going around messing with people. They were just doing their own thing. You know, a herd would go off, they would follow them. You know, because they knew that's where the food came from. But white culture, wow.
I mean, where do you think the terms like vandals and barbary come from?
Barbarians, yeah.
Barbarians, barbaric, vandals.
Conquistador, conquistador. Ugh, come on, give me a break.
Yeah, man.
Inquisition, give me a break. The Holocaust. When all this, who look at the people that came up with all this shit. No, we
It-
get mad at somebody. Okay, we'll shoot them. That's it. But we don't go and start building ovens and shit.
yeah, that's
Hey, put
And
some
to,
pressure on that
you know, you know. I have an argument. I have a beef with you. It's between you, me, and you. I ain't gonna go and
yeah, yeah. Take out the whole race.
kick out the whole neighborhood. You know, going to school. You know, shoot up everybody in the school. We just don't even think like that.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
they
It's true. It's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, if you hear about someone shooting up a school, I mean, we used to have school shootings over here. Dunblane, I think, was the last one that I can recall. But and that where was that? That was in Scotland. But yeah, when you think about people shooting up the school, it's like, oh, uh, I'm so upset. I'm gonna go and shoot up the school, dude. Oh my god, dude. I'm gonna kill everybody, dude.
Exactly.
we don't.
We don't think like that.
When was the last time you
You
heard
know,
about a black person shooting up a school because he was upset about whatever, or a cinema?
usually, well, usually we laugh about it in the States. It's usually them white boys that can't get laid.
In
Damn
it,
school.
yeah.
Hey, I know Brenda know this one. This is like a funny joke across like black people, at least out here. You know, like when Bernie Mac was saying on Kings of Comedy, you know, when the black person say, "I'm gonna blow this motherfucker up," he just saying that out of frustration. As soon as he try to go buy the dynamite, he going to jail.
Exactly. He can't even talk about it. Like, bro, I want to buy some dino. Oh, what? He can't even get the whole word out of his mouth, and next thing he's in jail. Yeah. What black person can go chemicals and stuff, to build some damn bomb to blow up someplace and get away with it? Come on.
It's true, man. It's one of them things. It's one of them things that is
Walk
true,
in
but
Walmart, sell guns in Walmart. We can't even walk in Walmart and buy guns and shit without them calling the cops. As a matter of fact, you can't walk in anywhere in America and buy a pack of gum and they call the cops on your ass. So, how the hell are we going to be buying?
Yeah. Hey, and it's just like the thing that I believe you said it earlier, Kane. The whole like guns in Chicago. Like these high powered rifle guns. Somehow, some way, they just end up in Chicago.
Yeah, they
yeah,
planted them there.
somehow they just turned up. Like they just they just turned up. You know what I mean? And they put these bait trucks out there. Oh look, there's a
Yeah,
truck full of
they do.
trinkets.
It's just like the drugs. They brought those guns in and put them there because they know in hell go up to some gun shop and buy whatever assault rifle.
That's crazy, man.
Be for real.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. And that's the origins, part of the origins of this problem. They pump the drugs in your community over there. They do it. You see the system over here. The way that they did do things over here, they just did it in a bit more of a sophisticated way. You know what I mean? We like to do things over there. You do things like Rambo. Your white supremacists do things like Rambo. You know what I mean? It's ka 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 ka. You know what I mean? It's like Rambo. But over here, our white supremacists do things like James Bond. You know what I mean? They like to pretend they're your friend first.
Come on. Brother, you go by Kane or Kane?
Kane.
Which?
Kane.
The Kane. Just because you guys accent don't mean it ain't Rambo, okay? That shit still be Rambo, but you be like, oh, actually, Jules, let's go and have a beer.
see, why LVZ will be killing it.
I know.
His UK accent's on point. I'm not gonna lie.
I know mine sucks, and I've been living here for 11 years, and I don't even pretend to try to do one. Just because you do it with an English accent, that shit still be Rambo. Okay? I'm not fooled.
It's the same. This shit is
It's
global.
the same.
It's global. This is what I'm saying. I don't care about whether you're Black American, Cuban, Brazilian, flipping light skin, dark skin. Hey, hear what I'm saying? If I go to America today, Kane, me one here right now, go to America today, and I'm walking down the street or whatever, you think the police are gonna say, "Oh, hold up, no, He's black and he's British. Now let him ride. No, fuck that.
Oh, you are in.
Yep, that's it. He's one of them. Put him in the back of the van.
You wanted to in.
Yep, it's the same. They don't care, family. They don't care. Don't matter if you're
Don't
a
care.
Muslim, Christian, whether you're a Knicks fan, Man United fan, uh, whatever other affiliations you want to
Care
subscribe
if you're
to.
a ratchet or a lawyer. You are
Hmm.
in.
That's it. That's why we must recognize very quickly that we need when the time comes, you need to put all that stuff aside and ride out for your fellow brother, man. Because everyone else is on code except us. And when we come together, all of a sudden it's a problem. Oh, what are you doing over there? Like, why are you doing that? No, that's racist. Like, you guys can't do your own thing. That's racist. But everyone else can do their own
That's
thing,
why.
have their own meetings.
Well, that's why it's important that are happening. We're thinking collectively, and we're getting on code. It's very powerful. I didn't think to see the day people coming together as much as they are right now, and I know we've got a long way to go, but I didn't think I would live to see this day.
Really?
And then also in America with the ADOS movement, which is fantastic. We're demanding our reparations for 400 years of Jim Crow lynchings, in terms of trying to buy homes, stealing our land, discrimination up into this very second, which still exists. We want the check. The Holocaust only lasted from 1933 to 35, but the Jews have been paid reparations. Pays billions of dollars every year to Israel. The United States paid reparations to victims, even though the Holocaust.
Oh man, I don't know why your thing keeps cutting out.
Oh, is it cutting out?
No, it's just every other word it cuts out. But
Oh,
let me
that's weird.
let me see.
Hey, I'm over here on mute, but I was hearing her pretty clear
Oh, was
myself.
it? Okay.
Yeah, it was clear on my end. Excuse me, I'm in the grocery store right now. My bad.
That's all good. Why were the Jews paid out for reparations by the United States government? What's that all about?
Because out
By
now.
the United States government?
Yes. You guys don't understand. In America are very, very powerful.
Oh,
Basically, look at the banking industry of America. A lot of those rich families were Jews.
Yeah, it's not just America, sis. It's all over Europe and the
yeah,
West.
same
Yes,
here as
all over
well. I
Europe.
mean, and them Rothschilds, where do you think they come from? You know what I mean? You used to see them on the TV, and them Rothschilds and sons and that.
Yeah, the Jews. Yeah, and the thing is, why is America paying reparations for the Holocaust?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. I'm
That
just
shit.
asking a question. I'm just curious because I don't see the connection. So I'm just wondering why they felt the need, they felt the moral obligation to pay reparations to the Jews. I'm just asking a question. There ain't no, you know.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't really know the full answer other than to the very influential people like the Rothschilds, etc., were Jews, and going back historically. So why is America paying billions? Excuse me, holding their own nuts. Why are we paying them money? That don't make no sense to me.
You shouldn't even be saying we, sis.
Yeah. That's a good
That's a
point.
person mistake, boy.
What was that?
No, I was just saying you shouldn't even be saying we. Although it is effectively, I hear what you're saying, but this politic game is a serious thing, man. And it's one whereby the winner will always win because he's backing all sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I say we,
They're gonna get paid, whether it be through that door, or that door. They're getting paid.
all
Just
about
in
the
answer to
money.
your question.
Follow the money.
Yep. So what?
Yeah, when I say we, I mean America. Yeah, but America, yeah, paying what? And then now that we're starting the conversation about reparations for Black people who were descendants of slaves, they're acting like they don't understand why we're asking. They're like, what's what do
What's this
people?
concept? Why are you asking? What for? What?
You were slaves? Yeah.
Oh, tell us about that. What happened?
Yeah, you were slaves in Civil War. We didn't get our 40 acres and a mule, and we were sharecroppers, which was basically slaves plantation. And then we went there into Jim Crow, put us some more.
I'm saying. I'm not even laughing at that. I'm laughing at Naive from when she said. Naive said AK-47. Hey, there's an X take called AK-47.
Hey, that was a joke of the day.
My bad. It just popped into my mind, and I was just fucking cracking. That's all I love Naive for, It's just. Oh shit. My bad. I didn't mean to derail your train of thought or anything, Brenda.
It's okay, brother. No problem.
AK-47. All right. So with this live stream, I title it "We're All We've Got." We're all we've got. Or you guys in America, you'll say, "We all we got." We all we got. Yeah, next Sunday we are gonna do it again, and just see whatever's on your mind. We can talk about it, and just see where the conversation takes us. I don't know how everyone's feeling. Should we continue to build, or should we close it out? How's everyone feeling?
I mean, it's up to you. I definitely got some more in me. Just even speaking on that saying alone, we got. It's a great phrase, but I wish we actually lived by it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I wish we actually lived by it. Like, forget all these just terms and phrases. Let's live by them.
Yep, I hear that. Wait, hold on. Spice, he still there? Nines, he still there? You still there, Nine? Sis?
And what's about it's like 10 p.m. over there.
Yeah, it's like 10 to 11 over here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Might have a few somebody over there snoring.
yeah. So like Spice might be snoozing. She might be snoozing. And Nine, you there? Oh, where Nine gone now? She probably just away from the mic.
Hey, she hit us with the AK-47 joke, and then she hit some AK-47.
yeah. She'd probably pass out from the AK-47. Yeah. And she tried to style it out like, oi, I heard some man are smoking this AK-47, but I mean not touch it, you know. Nah, man. I know you've been blazing up that AK-47. That's why she's passed out.
Yeah, goddamn 9. AK-47 passed out.
To be fair, I have
Oh,
heard
it
about that strand.
did one day, so they're maybe to get ready to, get some sleep because they got to go to
Yeah.
work in the morning.
Yeah. But yo, hear what I'm saying, man. It's been a good build. It's been a good build. I'm gonna close it out because I'm gonna need to um, get some rest myself and just do a couple things before I prepare for the storm tomorrow of things that I've got to do.
Have to go to the plantation.
Get back into that, back into the swing of things again.
We call it going to the plantation.
That's the best way to put it. Yeah.
So I appreciate everyone that come through. Uh, the one and only Lady Divine, Spice, 9 Fuller Sports, Brenda, Hyphy. Who else came on here? I can't remember, but all the people in the chat that came through. Listen, with this thing here, I don't mind just having a conversation between us. I don't mind having a conversation between us. You know, it's all good. But I appreciate everyone that come through on the live and tuned in and stuff like that, and everyone listening on the rebroadcast. Pick up yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah, we should be back next weekend. If not next weekend, the week after. I'll put up the what's it called? The notification in advance. So if we're going to be on next weekend, then you'll see the notification in advance. We had a few technicals, but we dealt with them nicely. And by the way, I like this platform. I like this platform, Hyphy. This is a good way to stay in touch with people. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely.
Pretty good. I think, because taxes, they're starting to take that away. So this looks
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that whole Hangouts thing, that's going as of next month. That's going. So yeah. But Brenda, listen, I appreciate you coming through and your commentary. That it was good to get your take on things as well. And I appreciate you do come through as well. On the previous, you have come through on the previous live streams as well. So I appreciate that, Miss Brenda Johnson.
I appreciate you, brother, for doing this.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. It's nothing. It's nothing. Shucks.
Yeah, man, yeah, about shocks.
Oh,
Everyone about speech.
I'm just
Oh,
brushing
there
my
she goes.
shoulders.
She made a comeback.
Yeah. She's put down the AK-47, isn't
Yeah.
it?
9 years off that AK-47 food.
Oh, they said that.
Nah, but in answer to your question as well, sis, because I know the sister asked, what's the sort of drug situation over here?
Oh yeah.
I would definitely say that it's definitely getting worse. That old saying when America coughs, England sneezes, or the other way,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
there's definitely an increase in England. I think you was talking about it. Was you talking about opioids?
Yeah,
tablets and so forth.
Mhm.
In England, like there's more people taking I don't know, are those opioids? I might have got that wrong, but there's more people like taking, prescription drugs and so forth.
Yep.
So
yep. Epidemic. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't think it's necessarily the street drugs. What I would say within our community is that maybe there's more heroin being taken, which is not necessarily one of our drugs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's traditionally that's not one of our things, you know. Black man over here don't do no fucking heroin um and all of that. That's
Yeah.
that's not us. But yeah, I hear you, Nine.
Yeah, so yeah, there's definitely, and the whole crack thing, it's my belief that it was actually made for us, that particular drug, because it mimics it mimics the molecular structure of melanin. Does crack. That's why I think black people can get so addicted to it so quickly. Um, but yeah, that's a whole different story as well. But yeah, man. So basically, all in all, yep, I think there's definitely an increase in the drugs problem. Young people are starting to smoke drugs from even earlier. We've already discussed that the food that they are smoking isn't just like organic. Do you know what I mean? It's AK-47 Malite. So yeah, man, nothing. Yeah, and it's gonna have a. And me, I'm a little bit skeptic even about this whole push for legalization of weed. You know what I mean? And it becoming such a commercial thing. You know what I mean? I've got a little bit of a side eye for that as well, to be honest. Because why is it all of a sudden now? You know, they want to commercialize it, and I mean, obviously, it could be just a money thing. But do you know what I mean? I'm probably a little bit more sinister as well because you don't know what these people could be putting in the thing. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you're right, sister. You're right. And
Yeah.
all these damn vaccines.
Well, yeah, that's
Oh
a
yeah.
whole nother show, man. Because that's the next thing. Because me and my virgin, actually, let me just hold it. Because me and my friend, we will talk about it and having a little reason about it. And like, I think vaccinations probably that could have a part. And no, another day. Because once I get going, it's a mazza, man. It's a mazza. But if what I was gonna say here is that if we apply certain um things to the knowledge that we have, we shouldn't be surprised if anything could be happening out there. Do you know what I mean? Even when we go back to our youth, them. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, I think, boy, if you've been to jail and you come out, oof, you know what I mean? You could be a bit dodgy because you don't know what they're doing in there. You don't know what they're giving you to eat, this, that, and the other. I know some man try to starve themselves, but do you know what I mean? And I've seen the Mancunian candidate and all these different things. Yeah, it's not a joke out here. Yeah, and you know that they work on frequencies and all these different things, man. So, and even going back to remember the thing I said where my eye water just squawk. You remember boxing? I was showing you about the youth in Croydon.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
with
yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah,
And the
yeah.
chop from
Oh, it
one
was
side to
Croydon.
the other.
Oh,
Yeah.
brass. It was South London as well.
Yeah. What I'm
Mm.
saying is that some of these things, yeah, I refuse to believe that these are just normal people in their normal mind. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like, just otherwise we have to accept that we're just breeding actual demons.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you. I hear you. I hear the reasoning. I hear the reasoning. But obviously, we're not breeding demons. It's this. It's this. Oh, yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. But just in terms of maybe some of us underestimate the different types of tools that are being used to control these behaviors or to influence them, or do you know what I mean?
Mm. What?
Chicken shops as well. I think they play a part.
Yeah, yeah. What you walk? You walk
Chicken
into.
shop, but you know how much man dead in chicken shop, Bridget?
Yeah, yeah.
Listen,
You see
don't
five of them in a
start it,
row.
man.
Five of these acronym chicken shops in a row. PFC, TFC, CFC. Oh, KFFC. You know what I mean? All in a row.
I remember they're coming from a culture whereby we didn't eat food out of our Bridget. Our Ben, well, my Ben Johnson day was my mum frying chips. You get me herself, and doing, you know what I mean, flinging whatever sausage or whatever. But there was no eating out of roasting when
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
going. It was a treat with a capital T and a capital T at the end, and you were told it's a treat. Yeah. Whereas sometimes you'll be embarrassed to pass Kentucky on a Sunday. You'll be embarrassed, boxer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that
Yeah.
because I'm old. We didn't eat out.
But exactly, sis. This is the
We couldn't
point.
afford it.
Well, couldn't afford it. Yes, and probably it was a different culture. Could be argued, or different discipline.
Oh yeah, but yeah, when I was growing up, there was no such thing as fast food. That I'm old school, so when I was a little girl, there was no such thing as fast food.
Ben Johnson there. But yeah, man. But yeah. I mean, there's so many. But yes, it's basically in terms of the drugs thing. Yeah, it's definitely on the increase, and they're doing all type of different drugs, and yeah. And with it, you see, it's a lack of discipline as well, sis, amongst the youth. Them. Yeah, because it's different. You see, if you can be doing your drugs, your this and that, but you're still functioning in your daily life, you know what I mean? Whether
Yeah,
it be
yeah,
going to college or going to work, you understand me? And you still could be a, you know what I mean, positive member of society, then that's even something different again. Because you know, there's people out there that are functioning crackheads, functioning heroin, functioning alcoholics. You wouldn't even know, yeah, because they're still holding down their thing. But we got youths dropping out of the education system by the age of 13, 14, you know, and then it's quite a downward spot. As an example, that is, you know. But I don't know, man. But education is the key. I think that's one of the things that we as a community need to really encourage. Yeah, that our children remain in education until they're 18 at least. And I know education isn't for all, and I'm not even saying it necessarily just to get the so-called qualifications, etc., etc. But it's definitely to teach our youth discipline. You get me? Because what many of our youths lack is discipline, I believe. And that discipline can show up in all different areas. But if you ain't got discipline, you're not gonna go too far in life, man. Even as a road man, if you ain't got discipline, you're gonna dead.
hmm
And I would love to see the day. I know I won't live to see it when we as a people have control over how we educate our children
yeah,
because we're not being well served by their education. Served
yeah,
at
I do
all.
agree with that, sis. I do agree with that still. And I think that's where we need to be more proactive in terms of, like more outside influences in terms of education. Saturday schools and the like.
yeah. But
I
what
think that's
nine? What's happened to the Saturday schools? Because you know that used to be big back in the day, but nowadays it's, because the Saturday schools was quite pivotal in the community. You see it there, but nowadays the Saturday schools, you don't really see as much of them.
I don't know. Is it that we don't see them or people aren't seeking them and having the discipline to send it? My youth goes Saturday school,
Okay, okay,
and no. So you know what it is? They are out there, babe. They may not, it could be argued, be as frequent as maybe once before. Although I'll still say maybe not. But again, it's about the discipline of the parent. The child can't get there on his own, or the child can't seek it out itself. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So in that respect, I just think that maybe more parents need to take more of an active role and responsibility in their children's education outside of school. Because I
yeah,
think, unfortunately, a lot of parents still rely on the school system to do their educating. And then that's down to the parent, especially if that parent's been educated in the very same system. So they're supposed to know where it go. You can kind of forgive the Windrush because they didn't really necessarily know what they were sending their child into. Do you know what I mean? And they were very trusting of the school, this, that, and the other, as we know. But those that have had children now and have obviously been to school here, yeah, they should. Because still, Boxer, all these many years later, I still don't think that we as a community take, as active a role in our child's schooling as we should.
hmm
When it comes to PTA meetings and them ones.
yeah,
I think a lot of us are still slipping. I'm not gonna tell a liar, man. I'm not saying all, but I think, a lot of us are, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, our children are an investment. It ain't just an overnight thing where you know what I mean? Shut. Let's get started. But for real though, man.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that because it's like you
Children
need.
are our future.
Yeah, it's like you need a radical revolution of the way things are, and it obviously isn't going to happen overnight. This we've been attacked from so many different directions for so long that you're not going to unravel all these different aspects when you're talking about the hypersexuality, the messages that's been put in our music, um, the education, the so-called culture that these youngins are subscribing to. That's a perpetual thing as well. It's like you need a radical revolution, and the thing is, we can do it because we have done it in the past by default. That's our default nature, you know. But it's a thing of we've been attacked for so long from so many different angles that it's kind of like, well, flipping hell, where do we start here? You know, because there's good parents out there that are doing the right thing and thing like that, don't nine. But if they're growing up in Angel Town and the youths go out on the road and man and man saying, "Rah, why are you going to school and doing all that sneaky stuff? You need to roll with us." That's how the thing I go on.
No,
So
I understand, man. And I'm scared for the pitfalls, man, with a boy myself. So I fully understand what you're saying, man. Um, I don't know, man, but I guess at that point, yeah, I mean, some of it may come down to luck. It could, you know what I mean? But I don't know.
but
So I
the
don't
thing
get wrong.
is, so go on, true sis.
No, listen, like I said, I hear you, man. Like, so, and like I said, I've got a boy myself. Like, one thing I know, I've got to promise myself is that you've always got money to give him chicken, hey, chicken shop money, because apparently that's how enough of the youth them get groomed by chicken and chips to blood clean. Oh, God. Yeah? So, I have to make sure him having money at the time so no one can't come and, you know what I mean? Because this is real talk, you know. You know that, boxer?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But
I hear you. Hell yeah.
So
but
man, I have
you know
money in
what?
his pocket, buy his own chicken and chips. Looks like chicken and chips plays a major role.
I wouldn't even
Yeah,
say
and
that.
how come we don't own any of those shops?
Of course not. Why would we?
Oh,
Why? Why
what?
would we do that, sis? Why would we do that?
I'm not saying we necessarily want to sell chicken and chips, but what I'm saying is I would love to see where we had our own black people that had restaurants.
That was sarcasm.
Okay.
That was British sarcasm. That was, bub.
Okay, I'm sorry, sister. I didn't get it.
No, yeah. And when I said why would we or whatever, that was British sarcasm. So I do agree with what you're saying, basically. But it
It's
made,
all good.
yeah,
See,
that was
that's the
sarcasm.
cultural thing there. You know what I mean? That's the cultural
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I
No,
got it.
yeah,
Hey,
go
you
on,
know what?
sis, sorry. But I agree with you, sis. I agree. Go on.
Okay. So
Um, oh, go ahead.
no, go on, Hive.
No, I was just saying, and this is like the perfect definition of what we call a coon. You see how they just talking about, why don't we own the fish and chips, restaurants? You'll have coons out here that'll say, oh, well, oh, they trying to own black businesses. Let me guess, you gonna do a fish and chicken spot? Like dumb shit like that.
Yeah, they don't want us to have anything. I mean, seriously, they don't want us to have anything. Little
Yeah.
girl was trying to sell bottles of water.
Oh, the lemonade.
They call box on her. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. But I don't think like it's boy, when I think about it deeper still this system is slick. It's flipping slick, because it's like if you've got someone who's growing up in a rough council estate housing projects or whatever, right? And then you think to yourself, okay, I want to take my child out of this environment. I'm going to move out and move out into the suburbs. Yes, it's like, okay, so you move out to the suburbs and you do all right. You become a doctor or whatever, whatever like that. You're contributing to displacing the community. Do you know what I mean? Because if you have an exodus of that, then whereas like back in the day, you would have the butcher and the baker and the bus driver all in the same community, and the rude boys would be in the same community, and all of that. But if you have people that have the mindset of, boy, I need to move out, and they move out, then it's kind of like what you're going to have is individual pockets, well, not even pockets, just individuals who have done all right for themselves, or all right for their child because they've moved out and thing like that. But the situation in the estates is perpetual. Do you know what I mean? And those that don't have the right type of mindset to elevate through that situation, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing, and they're going to justify it as, boy, what do you want me to do? Like, rah, man's got to do this, or it's nothing, you know? So what I'm saying is like if you move out of the hood, yes, it's good for you personally, but then that has a detrimental effect on the broader cause, you
Well,
know?
yeah, because you're you're creating a vacuum. You're taking your ambition, and you're removing that from the community, and you're putting it someplace else. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's
And
kind.
and and this is what we see with gentrification, America. I'm pretty sure you got it going on here too.
Oh
We're,
yeah.
we're being scattered, and
Oh yeah.
and we're not in the communities anymore.
Yeah, it's like when you look at these like immigrants. Are they called immigrants or immigrants? People that relocate from places like Nigeria, Jamaica, the Windrush generation, and things like that. They get the creme de la creme of these countries, like doctors, dentists, scientists, lawyers, right? They come over here to work as security in Tesco's, whereas they would have been more productive being a doctor in flipping Timbuktu or something. You see where I'm coming
Yeah,
from?
yeah.
And even the ones that are here, some of us that are here, you know, they get trapped in this cycle of, boy, I'm only over here because I heard that the streets were paved with gold. I've come over here, now I'm working as security. I can just about afford to pay my rent, and now I'm stuck over here. I can't even send no money back because
Yeah.
I'm stuck over here. That's what a lot of the people find. People that come over here, they find themselves in that kind of rut, that cycle.
Oh, it's
And
it's 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 all down to the system of white supremacy. These are melanated people who are moving around the world trying to, improve their life one way or another. And when we make the move someplace, the the rug is pulled out from underneath our feet. Yeah, the streets used to be paved for us. The opportunities were laid out for the whites, but not for us.
yeah,
A white person could come over here, be a bricklayer, and then all of a sudden turn around and become a doctor. People come over as doctors, and we're stuck being, like you said, Tesco's.
Yeah.
That's what they do to us.
Hey, Brenda, let me ask you a question. So, what do you shop in Costco?
That you were cutting out.
I was just saying, do you shop in Costco?
It cut out. Do I shop where?
Oh, hold on. Let me try and fix this. 1 second. What's
I,
going on?
Costco.
Yeah, Costco. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
I live in London and I don't have a car.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Because there's one in Croydon still.
When
So,
I, yeah, when I used to live in California, I shopped at Costco.
oh, okay. The reason why I asked that is because there's one in Croydon. So I thought, as an American, is that kind of like your kind of go-to place as such? So I thought,
No, not over here because I don't have a car.
all right, yeah, yeah, yeah. If you want
and
to
I
go
don't and I
Croydon,
don't have a big house with the garage like I used to. I have where I don't have room to store a 600 unit roll of toilet paper like I used to.
yeah, man.
Hey, she ain't lying.
I remember I used to have a 2-car garage in California where I would go to Costco and yeah, I could buy 600 rolls of toilet paper. Yeah, cool. I got room for it.
Be selling that on eBay, boy.
Man. Hey, you guys can hear me clear, yeah?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah,
hear you.
yeah. I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, okay. How common is Costco out there? Because
There's only one store
definitely in
that
the
I know of.
state. Okay.
Oh, it's not that common.
Oh, okay.
Never been to
Uh,
it since I moved here.
oh, um, yeah. Costco is like taking over. You could pretty much, and it's kind of interesting. They place a Costco. They always place them right off of the freeway because they sell gasoline. So yeah, Costco is definitely popular out here.
I used to love Costco. Loved it.
Yeah, you can
I don't
get a
know how
lot.
popular it is here. Kane.
There's only
They only got
one.
one store in
Yeah, there's only one that I know of. I don't know of any others.
you guys have one Asda, which is the same as Walmart.
Oh, okay, okay. So that's the
Asda
same
is
thing.
Walmart.
Say the name of it
Oh,
again, please.
Asda, ASDA,
ASDA.
Asda. That's Walmart.
yeah, I can hear that New York now. New York. I can hear that New York.
Yep, that's Walmart.
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 Yeah.
More, yeah, it's a certain way they say it. I would know she's not from my area. That's for sure.
What are you talking about, huh? Anyway, oh,
But as
I
I
don't
say,
know
that
about.
that always sounded Italian to me.
No, it's not Italian, honey. It's East Coast. It ain't Italian. No, it's
Uh,
East Coast.
what are you
Oh,
talking about?
please, no, no. That's Brooklyn.
Delusional.
That's Brooklyn.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna close it down and do a couple things. As I say, it's been a good build. Good build. I don't know how many hours in we were, but yeah, it's been a good build. Good conversations. I got a big up 9. as I say, everyone, Brenda, Hyphy, Lady D, Spice,
You
Full of Sports.
take care.
Yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. Hyphy and Full of Sports. Big up, everyone. Bless up, and yeah, I'll let everyone know if we're gonna do it next Sunday. Good conversations. We're out of here. Peace.